Welcome everybody to the Super Tape. This is your boy, the poet here, Super Man. I'm chilling here with DJ Beezy, Beats. Check out the Super Tape. We are the remedy.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is how we do this. This is how we do this right here. Hold on. I need you to understand how we do this right This is how we,
Yeah.
Okay, you know, we gotta come in with some energy.
Reporting live, you know,
This
poetically correct.
You know, hold on.
Coming at your neck.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was feeling
Oh,
it.
you about to freestyle?
Yeah, okay.
I was just,
Yeah. You about to freestyle the intro?
I mean, we
Go
could.
ahead. The floor is yours. Okay.
All right, we're going to try this. This first time ever, you know what I mean, reporting live.
Oh, I'm out of this one.
Yeah.
Let's go. Where you at?
Poetically correct. Yo, we coming for your neck. We coming for that check and we coming for respect. We got Greg the Superman coming with super jams. Every time we spit, we be coming with stupid fans. Poetically on the mic, Rome DiCarlo, he here. We coming live for real. We coming to let y'all hear. We coming, we so near. We bring the fear. Haters crying, they dropping tears.
You see, we gotta let them know. We gotta let them know just how we flow and how we go. See, it's poetically, it's Rome DiCarlo. We got poet named Superman. I don't know why I stuttered in front of that. I'm just gonna bring it right back and introduce the show how we do that. It's poetically correct, yeah.
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 Turn my headphones up.
Hey. Hey.
Now I'm just let you know. Hey, this is what we do though. Because now it's a little first so people can understand. This is like the second time, but really the first time.
Word.
Because the first time got fucked up.
It did.
But
that was a good conversation.
It was a good conversation. It was a warm up, right?
Word.
So we're doing this, and this is a poet named Superman.
What's up? How y'all doing?
You just threw his government out there, like without even asking.
Man,
like
you know you're right.
I mean, that's in the rule, but when
you
know when you're dealing with artists, you don't just throw the government out there.
Damn.
All right, so we don't know who Greg is. All right, so if
I don't know.
To this,
I was talking about
Don't even
the guy at the grocery store.
Nah, it's perfectly fine. I mean, a lot of people know me by my first name anyway. So
facts.
If you don't know now, you know. Greg Murray. I went by Greg Murray. I went by my government when I first started speaking in Charlotte.
Oh, damn.
So
I did not know.
yeah, there's that whole.
Is it short for Gregory?
Yes, it is short for Gregory.
Do you like Gregory?
I don't like.
What does Gregory sound like to you, Gregory?
I don't like when dudes call me Gregory for some reason.
it didn't sound right when I'm saying it.
See,
Gregory.
Like my
sounds
father.
like I should be reprimanding you.
Like my father or my uncle are the only people that can call me Gregory that are dudes. Like if another dude calls me Gregory, I'm like, look, you don't know me that well.
Right. Yeah.
It sounds weird. Like it just feels and sounds weird. But whatever, you know.
It's like, yo. Yeah, I'm not feeling it either.
If you're going in for a job application, are you coming in saying, "Hi, I'm Gregory Murray here to meet"?
It depends.
It depends on the job.
It depends on the job. Like it really depends on the job. I'm trying to think if because I work at a restaurant downtown.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if I did say, hey, I'm Gregory Murray. That's me. I did. I kind of put that little hey, how you doing?
You didn't get up on your toes, or
No, I didn't get on my toes.
My name is Gregory. You got to do it with a rhythm. But Gregory.
No, I didn't get on my toes or anything like that.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, quickly. Now I will tell you, this is what we do now. We freestyling on the show.
Oh, we freestyle.
So at the end, a little teaser, we're gonna be freestyling on the show.
We who?
We wait. Hey, we gonna throw it out. We just gonna throw. Hey, look, I done fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's just we flowing. It's just some spice to it because we are poets and people wanna. I hate that. Hold on. We are poets, and I was about to say the cliche line, but
Greg also freestyles poetry too, though.
Whoa!
He does.
So I should throw in like a little.
I don't know if y'all were at Release.
Okay.
He has this event called Release Therapy
Snitch.
every other Wednesday, and this past Wednesday he was like, "Yo, put a beat on." Tyrone was putting the beat on, and Greg was just flowing, using people's names in the room. I said Greg again. My bad. Superman.
Whoa, snitch!
I put it out there.
Nah,
yeah,
cool.
I'm about to say. Superman. Okay, quickly. Quick before we get in like the topics today, what we're gonna really get and grind into.
Right.
Pause. Three men up here grinding into topics.
But
where did the name a poet named Superman come from?
Oh,
we talked about it. We talked about it, but so they can know.
Okay, so First off, my full name is, yes, a poet named Superman. You got to say the whole thing, like a Tribe Called Quest or a pimp named Slickback. You got to say the whole thing. A poet named Superman. I was nicknamed Superman before I became a poet.
Okay.
It was a funny story about me as a kid. I was playing around in the house, you know, like you're a baby, you playing around in an apartment or house or whatever. And I was running across the room, and long story short, I like flew through the patio screen door and landed on the patio, like tore down the whole screen door. So
how old were you? Wait,
I was about 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was a baby. So my friends that I was going to school with at the time found out this story. My parents told them this story, so they was like, "Oh, you flew through the door like Superman." And then they was like, "Well, actually, no, you like Superman. Don't you like superheroes? Like, you're a comic nerd and all that. You like Superman, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, Superman is my joint." And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Hey, wait, don't you like try to save hoes too?"
Oh.
Like, yeah, like you you Superman for real. Like, you got this whole superhero complex. Like,
wait a minute,
like,
wait a minute, hold on.
I
I gotta go back in time because you flew through the door when you were 3 years old.
right. I flew through the door, but no one heard. But no
Yeah,
one.
because okay, you caught where I was going.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, you saving hoes at 3? Wow, this is amazing. This story is amazing. Wow. Let's talk about these toddler hoes.
No, it was toddler hoes. Oh my God, no, that
Toddler hoes is wild.
no. I've always had an appreciation for Superman. I didn't start getting called Superman regularly until I was like 19.
Okay.
Like 19, 20, and then a couple months after that, I started writing poetry,
And that's when you flipped it.
and kind of my mom actually gave me like my name. I put out a blog years after that. I was like, "Mom, what should I call this blog?" And she was just like, "A poet named Superman." I was just like, it just rolls off the tongue just like that. Yeah. She was like, "Well, you're a poet and your nickname is Superman, so you're a poet named Superman." So
Yeah.
it just kind of stuck. So it was the name of the blog. It was just a whole evolution. Just the name of, it was my nickname and then the name of the blog. And then I came here to Charlotte years after that. I was going by Greg Murray, and I was like, nah, I don't want to be that personal. I don't want people to feel like they know Greg just through my art.
Right.
What's the name of my blog? Oh, a poet named Superman. Oh yeah, I can go by that. So it kind of just evolved.
All right. First off, real quick, do people call you Super?
Yes, some people do. There are some people. I went through so many name changes. I went through like Super Duper Poet. People call me Super. Like, it was just a whole bunch. A poet named Superman.
Yeah, Super Duper.
Yeah.
It feels like you back in the 90s. Super Duper. 80s.
Super Duper Fly.
And do y'all feel like, speaking of names, do y'all feel like names sometimes match the times? Like,
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of rappers now are doing the whole first name, middle name thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or the real name thing.
Or the littles.
Yeah, and a lot of lils. It depends on
There's
what type of subgenre of hip hop you're in. But there's a lot of lils in the turn up trap.
I thought the littles would have gone. I thought like it went away for a moment, then it's coming back.
Yeah.
Who brought it back?
Man,
Because didn't it go away?
It did go away. It was a lot of bigs. Wasn't there a lot of bigs?
It was a lot of bigs back in the day
Isn't
too.
that crazy? We went from being big to little.
Hell yeah. There's a lot of MC whatever, or a lot of
there was a lot of MC.
a lot of youngs
A
too.
lot of youngs. Yeah, there were a lot of youngs.
What happened to the youngs?
Well, Young Thug.
You got old.
Oh, Young Thug.
Yeah, Young Thug.
Yeah,
young folks
he's
did
by
get
himself.
old.
Yeah, he's by himself.
Because Young Jeezy dropped the young.
Yeah, because I think he realized after a while
He's
you
just
get old.
Jeezy, you get old.
Wait a minute, was Little Bow Wow the first Little?
No, Lil Kim.
Okay, look, yeah, you're right. No, wow, you're right.
It might be somebody before her too though.
Wow. I
can't think of
We
anybody
gotta
else
do
before Lil
research.
Kim. Yeah,
Probably
we gotta
not.
do research.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what time? Wait a minute, what times are we in now, as far as the names?
Like it's a lot of real name stuff going on with
A lot of real
Joyner
names.
Lucas, Kendrick Lamar. Even J. Cole is just J. Dot. His last name. Kanye West. I think he might have. Did he kind of start that?
I guess.
Nah, not
Because
really.
in the '90s, people had crazy names: Old Dirty Bastard.
Vanilla
Ice, Ghostface Killer.
Wow.
Yo, that's a good name.
Yeah, it is a good
one of
name.
my favorite rap names.
It is
Scarface.
Scarface. Yeah.
You're right.
Snoop Dogg.
the 90s was probably the most creative.
They had creative names.
Because you had to go so out of bounds with the names. You had to
Yeah.
be, because you had to let people know. Well, it was a signature behind it, right? You got to
Yep.
let people, your
Right.
name represented your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
It represented what you know, like, I'm not playing. You can't have no weak-ass name.
That's
You can't,
yeah, that's true. Because people not going to listen.
yeah.
You got to think back then, people was probably buying albums off of what they read about or what they saw in the store. Like
Yeah.
they didn't have YouTube or something
You're
like that.
right. So the name had a set.
Yep.
You know what's crazy? When I'm on Netflix, I judge a movie based off the cover art.
Okay.
Ah, nah.
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
That's
can't
that old
do
school
that.
mentality.
Good cover art, you got me sucked in. No, a good cover art, you got me looking at the brief, the summary of what the
Oh, the
movie's
caption.
about.
Word,
Yeah,
word.
A bad cover art, I'm like,
I feel like Greg might be like me. I got to hear about it first. So
Yeah,
somebody
I
got to
gotta
tell me.
really-
You know what
Somebody
I mean?
got to tell me about it. I gotta see a preview and be like, oh wait, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
I gotta
but
see
but
something.
see, it looks interesting.
Not the cover art, bro.
Yeah,
Not just the.
yeah, it be some lame ass cover art.
I've seen some dope cover arts, and the movie was terrible, bro.
Ooh.
The movie was terrible.
Yes, see, then that's when I had to read the
Star
summary.
Wars Episode 1, Phantom
wow.
Menace. That
Oh,
poster
wait a
was
minute, are
dope.
you
Yeah,
a Star-
poster was
That
dope.
poster was dope with Darth Maul.
Yep.
Are y'all Star Wars fans?
Yeah.
Okay,
you know what's happening next
All right,
week?
Hold on. All right, so this is what we about to do right
We
now.
got to get into this.
Look,
Why is Star Wars number one? Why do people hate on first episode 1?
'Cause
Break
it's-
it down to me,
Bro.
I enjoy it.
it's-
And you know the message that it represents.
Let's shut this thing down.
No, I'm about to break it down to you. So you know what?
Okay.
Erica Badu broke this down on Everyday Struggle. She broke it down beautiful. How
Star Wars.
Yeah, you know I'm about to go with it.
No.
Okay, at the end when my man and what's his name fighting. And then they in
Darth
that
Maul.
little,
Darth
yeah,
Maul,
and they,
Qui-Gon.
yeah, and
Okay.
they were in that room,
Yeah.
and then that room separates them, right?
Right,
And
okay.
then my man, he sat and
he
like
started
meditate.
praying,
He
right.
started praying. Yeah, that's how it is in life. Sometimes we go through situations, and you have to sit. And I
Wait,
was
Erica
like,
Badu said that?
yeah, and I was like, you know what? That is so true. That is so true. Once again, Star Wars strikes with another message, a moral of the story.
First of all, you're taking like this much
Okay, that's
of
that was just the
of
beginning.
a big movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's somebody else's perspective of it. So
Yeah,
it's not
you're
even,
right.
It's
You're
not
right.
even the
It was
movie itself. You
know
wasn't
what?
how I'm not gonna ask how old you was when the movie came out,
Nah,
but you
I
had
was-
to be you was a kid, right?
Yeah, I was a
You was a
kid.
kid. So when you were a kid, you weren't thinking to yourself
You
like,
know what?
yo,
But when I think
that's
that,
how life is.
no, I'm gonna tell. When I look back at it now, I'm like, yeah, that's how life is. That's how life is. But and
Door
at that,
shut in
at that,
front of you.
At that time,
you can see where you going, but
Right.
sometimes the door's shut and you just gotta be
and
patient.
you gotta be
And
patient.
like you ain't
And
think that when
gotta
you
be
were
re-
8 years old.
I didn't. You know what? When the movie was happening, I'm thinking, he better be ready to fight. Sometimes, and
Honestly thought he was gonna spoiler alert if you've never seen
man,
Star
nah,
Wars.
fuck spoiler alerts. If you ain't seen that shit like 15. That shit old as hell.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude, don't
it
say
is.
that, bruh.
That shit old as hell.
I know it is, but that. Oh man, I still feel
If
young.
you ain't seen Star, I feel like in this day of age, if you
15
haven't seen
years.
anything, then you out of man.
Yeah,
You know
got
what
the
the
internet.
but you know what the problem with her analogy was?
What's
That nigga died.
Hey, you know, I'm hoping you want to go mention that. Hey, you know what the crazy part was? When I was watching her say that, I was thinking the same thing. Like, but bruh died though.
I was gonna say like he could have died like as soon as the door opened. He was still praying and meditating.
But-
like
It's all about understanding and slowing life down because
You know what?
either you're ready for the force
Here
or
we
you're
go.
not ready for the force.
Here we go.
Pause.
here we go. You can't say pause when you talk about
The force?
You can't say pause if you're literally talking in
About
the
the force.
in a Star Wars conversation.
Yeah, but
we
we're
all
talking
know
about
what
the
the force.
Force.
Yes, the force.
Just
Because you
Yeah.
can't say pause.
and the force is coming.
Oh my
that
god.
pause.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's
I'm just saying. Now that sounds like it could be a movie title though.
The force is going.
Anyway,
I mean, The
we
Force
got-
Awakens. We have the
Yeah.
Last Jedi that's getting ready to come out.
It's coming out next week.
Yeah.
My cousin already texted me. He's like, "Yo, we got
this
to see that."
Friday. It's Sunday right now. This Friday.
And if you're
Damn.
watching this on a Friday, it's coming out today.
Word.
Look what I did there.
Facts. Yeah.
Oh,
If you're watching on a
plug.
Saturday, it came out last night.
Oh, plug.
Hell yeah.
If you're watching this 2 weeks later,
Okay,
it's
that's
Saturday.
weird. That's
All right.
weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, are y'all hyped about it or?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I am, but to be honest with you, I don't know how big a fan I am of the new, I guess, character
yeah, because everybody
storyline that
yeah, I
they
feel
started.
you, I
I'm
feel
not
you.
that interested in some of the choices they made in the first movie, so I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm a little skeptical, but I'm open to it.
I think this movie will make you more interested.
Okay.
Because I was already like just nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents, right? I always have a story for everything.
Let's go.
My parents were born in the 60s. So they were teenagers when the original Star Wars
Where you
came
can see
out.
the strings on the
Word. So they went, like, one of their first dates was them going to go see Star Wars.
Nice,
Oh, damn.
nice.
Okay.
So, like, you know, just by, you know, whatever, inheritance or whatever, like, I'm a fan of Star Wars because, like, my parents met on some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So I've always been a fan of Star Wars. So when The Force Awakens came out, the new joint, I'm like, yo, I got to find a date. Like, she might be it. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right. That's a good test.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good test. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I went by myself.
I mean, sometimes, you know, that, but I would.
But you know what? That's okay because sometimes you can view the movie better when you're by yourself.
I always go to the movie. Like, listen, bro, I go more to the movies now by myself than I ever did.
Let's talk. You know what? I'll be real with you. I don't. That's cool. I can do that now. But there was a point in my life, like, who goes to the movies by themselves?
That was me. I was that way in high school.
Yeah, I was like, why do you go to the movies by yourself?
High school, yeah.
I just got like
High school, I was kind of like that, but like college, like 19, 20.
Really?
Once
You
that
just go to the
college
movies
shit?
by yourself?
I just go to the movie by
That's
myself. I
I-
go bowling by myself.
Wow, really?
I go to the arcade. Go into the amusement park. If you ever went to Carowinds and rode a roller coaster with your earphones in by yourself, it's the most amazing thing ever.
Really?
Yo,
Wow, I never would have thought about that.
I would, like, when I was in Jersey, I would go to Great Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd ride a roller. I'd go by myself because I had a season pass. I'd take the trip, go by myself. I have my iPod in. I have it tucked in, like, in my pocket or whatever. Make sure it's secure. Have my earphones in. Get on the roller coaster, bro. I was listening to what's the name of that song? Lift Off by Jay-Z, Kanye, and Beyonce.
Wow.
While I was on the roller coaster. We gonna take it to the moon. Take it to.
That's it. You know what? That sounds peaceful. Just to be walking around an amusement park by yourself sounds peaceful. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, that song's hot, by the way. People don't talk about that song enough. I like that song.
I
fire,
do a lot of.
That's like one of the rare Beyonce and Jay-Z's collabs.
That really was
that's
hitting.
actually good. Cause let's call it what it is. I love the Royal Family, but the songs they do together,
It don't always hit.
they be
I
whack.
thought Crazy in Love was good, but
Crazy in Love, Deja Vu.
Yeah.
I like the one he had on Magna Carta.
I didn't like his verse on Drunken Love though.
I agree. I agree with
It's
you
a
on
little
that.
sloppy.
It was all right.
just like the song.
I'm trying to figure what's the name of that song on Magna Carta? Part 2.
That's what I'm saying.
On the
That's
Run.
I like on the run.
That
I like,
joint,
I
that
like
was
that.
hot.
That's
that was smooth.
That's probably my favorite
That was
Jay-Z
a
and
smooth
Beyonce
one.
song.
Okay.
Yeah, that was smooth. We gave you like a
You ever heard the one with just Beyonce on it?
word.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Word?
It's just tough.
Is one just Beyonce?
It's one with just Beyonce on it. It's
Oh,
tough.
I gotta check that out. And they were talking about doing the album together, but I don't want to hear that.
You know, Greg, I want to ask you this question because I know you're a big hip hop and music fan and just fan of arts and stuff like that. In terms of like concerts and stuff like that, what have your favorite shows been that you've been to?
That I've been to?
Yeah. Because we were talking about the Jay-Z concert earlier.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh
true,
my
true.
goodness.
I know you saw Chance earlier this year.
Okay.
That was
yes.
probably live.
Chance was. Oh man, Chance is like top 3.
Okay.
Chance is top 3, and it's because it was so many emotions, but it was all positive.
Word.
It was all
course,
positivity
it's
in that
Chance.
room, and you literally had all different types of people, and they're all singing his songs. Everybody, and you had like little teenage kids. I'm like, what do you know about Chance?
Right,
What would you know about it? And that's just singing like every single word. Now, mind you, his discography, man, he's going through a lot of stuff just in those 3 albums, right?
Yeah.
So I ain't know whether to drink something, smoke something, try to holler at a girl, or just praise it,
I was about to say,
or just
pull out the
live it,
Bible.
or pull out my Bible, or like have a praise break. I ain't know what to do. I was just like, like it was amazing, man.
But
it was so amazing. But it was cool to see a group of people, like all those people just come together. So that's a good one.
I know it's a tough question.
Who else have you seen?
I went to the Bad Boy concert.
Really?
Oh my God.
So you saw Pastor Mace?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. Look at Lee's face. You saw the pastor.
There's
Saw Mace. Saw Mace.
There's a story behind that. Not gonna get into it. Let's just say I got to go for free. Yeah. No, we're not gonna get into that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Inquiring minds.
it it was really dope.
I heard it was very like high done. Like the show, far as put together, was out of this world.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
High quality.
But let me ask you this: was G-Dep there?
G-Dep was not there.
Okay.
But I tell you who was there. Fucking DMX.
DMX was there.
DMX popped up out of nowhere.
What?
He was like, Diddy came out, like the whole show stopped, right? Diddy comes out and he's just like, all right, so we had a good like 7. We had a good 7. We had a good maybe 8, 7.5.
Okay.
We had an 8 right
Yeah,
now.
it's getting
How y'all
going.
doing? Y'all doing all right, Charlotte? Yeah. We had a good 7.5. We had an 8.
Mm-hmm.
What we gonna do? We gonna take it up to a 10. You know, Bad Boy, we got extended family. We have people that we've been rolling with.
Yeah.
So let's turn this up to a 10. Ladies and gentlemen, DMX. Dun, 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 dun. I said, no, it's not.
Darkman X.
Darkman X runs out on the stage. He's like, I was like, oh my God. I was
My childhood.
Wait a minute. Did he pray?
No.
Oh,
Does he normally do that?
what? Yeah, you never see his? Yeah, he prays.
Oh, wow.
He only
Yeah,
had
he
like
prays.
he only had like a what 3-4 song set.
Oh, really? Okay.
It wasn't that long.
Yeah, cause that's you know what, X is like one of my favorites because he's just so it's like a heart. It's like heartfelt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like he's talking and
I'm sorry, I just thought about something. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying like it's heartfelt because he's giving you like just his real. It's like you see the dark side of him. He's like he's trying to go to the light, but you see the dark side of him.
I feel you. So like one of my favorite things from DMX is him singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, bro.
Oh, man, we're not gonna talk about
Oh,
Come on, we gotta do that, bro.
Come on, bro. Like that wasn't hot though.
It was hot.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Are we about to play this?
What? You never seen it?
What?
Lee, you never seen it?
Yes, I've seen it. I'm not about to let you do my man like that.
What? Listen, you can't tell me that this story ain't dope, bro. You can't tell me it's not dope. He's looking at me.
Hold on, DMX, let them know we not playing no games.
Let's
Hold on.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, what you saying? Yeah, what you
Let's go.
saying?
Hey,
What you saying?
hey,
All
hey.
right, so we can play before we start getting, before it gets taken off.
Let go. Sorry. Well, not really. But whatever. Hello, Paz. I would have asked you how you been, but you're still in contact with me for some reason. I'm still able to know who you're with or without, whether the next man or woman after me treated you better or worse than I did. I'm still able to know whether your heart beats to the sound of my voice. Damn you, social media. Damn you, same phone number. Damn you, impact. And damn you, me. How can you move forward if you won't let go of me? Look, I knew then what I was capable of, and I still do. Even with my growth and change, and I know you see it too. But what about yours? Did I really leave that much of an imprint in you that it is a hole that cannot be filled? Please don't label me arrogant. I still don't think enough of myself as much as you did. And for that, I apologize. I apologize for not having the life you thought I would have then and now. I apologize for loving you and poetry more than I love myself, for not having enough and too much money and time for the both of us to share at the same time. I apologize. I apologize for trying to get you involved in church. I apologize for praying for you, for trying to introduce you to God. I apologize for telling you that I love you, for still having love for you, for telling you to call me if you ever need anything and me answering anytime that you called. I apologize. I apologize for futuristically portraying myself as a good father, so much that when you had a seed in your womb, you decided you won't put me in a position to have children now. For my family accepting you as family when you had no conception, no idea of acceptance from family. I apologize. I apologize for me being me, and that meaning that you will always compare someone else to me. I apologize for writing about you and it leaving you feeling that it is the dopest thing I've ever written. I apologize for being better than you anticipated. Although I had no control, I still feel terrible that you were not ready for me. And when you were, I wished you
away because to me love is a beautiful struggle two people share together. My bad for always being the one you broke up with. My apologies for allowing my soul to conjoin to yours regardless of how you treated me. I should have loved myself more than I did you. I should have been the perfect man I made you think I would be. And I still have so much to work on myself, but don't let that whisper of a promise give you a glimmer of hope. And don't tell me that you wish to be in my arms again. Matter of fact, please tell me, so I can respond with the fact that my lens can't extend backward that far into the past. Grow yourself, love yourself, live yourself, and if God permits, our arms will latch onto each other's moving forward anew. One of you anyway. My apologies again. There's so many of you I've had chances with, and I don't know if I'd give any one of you one more chance with me. Sorry, but not sorry, really. I forgive you, my loves. And Greg, I forgive you too. Superman out. Yeah.
Like everything.
What inspires pain?
That's a loaded question, brother.
Okay, what inspires you to let it out and not hold it in? Because sometimes you hold it in and it's like, oh, nah, this is, you know what I'm saying? I can't just hold it in. I gotta let this out.
I think noticing the difference between who I was without poetry and who I am now with it. I need that release. If I don't have that release, I will go nuts, and I will release it in a way that will be detrimental to my growth. Period. On top of that, I'm not able to inspire other people to grow if I don't release with what is within me. I recognize my purpose. My purpose. My purpose is to inspire people, to help people to grow. My message in my art is self-love and growth. How do you save the world? You save the world one person at a time. Right. How do you save a person? You help them to save themselves. Okay. You can't save yourself if you don't love yourself, if you don't know yourself, if you don't evolve yourself. So a poet named Superman, I save the world through my message.
Got you.
So what inspires that is my life, the things that I've been through, the things that I've seen, the things that have been said and done to me.
What is it? But no, is there a line though? Is there a line of what I'll talk about and what I won't talk about, but I'll vaguely talk about it, I'll subliminally talk about it, or do you just spread it out?
There's a method to the madness.
Okay.
There are certain things that you can tackle head on and be like, yo, this thing happened. And there's other things that you can't do that because of different variables, whether that person is still around, whether that person will be affected in a way that'll be, not conducive to, their growth or whatever. Okay. You can still inspire people and not trash somebody. Yeah. You don't have to inspire other people at the expense of another person. Okay. So I have poems about like ex-girlfriends and everything like that, but only the ex-girlfriend knows that I'm talking about them. Like nobody else, unless they were around, like their friends or whatever. But I don't know shit about that. But no one, like if I were to do a poem about my ex, y'all wouldn't know what ex I'm talking about.
You got right.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, definitely.
And we all have ex-girlfriends. We all have exes and ex-friends and family members that did something to us or whatever. So, is there a line? Sort of. Now I think now the line is thinning. I think the line is thinning now. I think I've been holding back.
Really? So you were censoring yourself before?
I think so.
Do you think the line is thinning because as you get more in tune with who you are, you start to not even let people in that aren't going to be fitting into that? Because it's not easy to be truthful when you're not playing both sides of the fence no more.
Absolutely. Because I was so worried about what other people had to say or what, their opinions were or whether or not I did hurt their feelings. Some people's feelings need to be hurt. Some people need to get rattled in order for them to grow, in order for them to love themselves.
Exactly.
I mean, anything that I do is never malicious. I'm not doing or saying anything in order for people to feel bad. Okay. If somebody so happens to hear something that I said in regards to something that they've done to me or something that they've made me feel, and they feel bad about it, I'm just like, well, you probably shouldn't have said what you said, or you probably shouldn't have did what you did. And vice versa. I've written things out about myself where I had to realize, like, dang, I did this to myself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. No,
Exactly.
1,000%.
But that evokes growth.
Yep.
In order for me to not feel that way again, I can't do that again. In order for me to not write that poem again, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to get to the point where
It's
I'm writing the
self-reflection.
same poem over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's no evolution.
It's no evolution.
That's showing it's self-reflecting. You're going back and saying, okay, this was what it was, and it's action. You gotta take action upon yourself to make it not happen again.
Well, that's the key. The key is to not only write the poem and speak the poem, but to actually live the poem. That's
the
really
words.
the key.
Yeah.
You gotta live out the words.
And you got a line where you say "I am poetry" in one of your joints,
Right.
And when you just said that, that hit home because once you talk about it, you got to be about it. You got to live
You
it.
have to, and that's why I don't do a lot of the same thing, because I'm a simple yet complex person. Like there's a lot within me, so I'm able to appeal to different avenues because there's so many things within me that I can that I'm cool with, that like I can attach myself to. So it reflects in my poetry. I can talk about sex, which is not really the case. I don't really talk about sex, but I could talk about sex. I could talk about love. I could talk about heartbreak. I could talk about sports. I could talk about nerd shit. I could talk about religion. I could talk about lack of religion, because I've been there. Like, I've been to all these different things and different aspects of my life, so I can write and speak about anything.
And that's because you're a human.
And it's because I'm human. Right.
I mean, it's more aspects to us.
So okay, why do we as humans try to? I understand like having a niche,
Okay.
but why do we get so settled on one thing? Why do we get so settled on one topic?
It's comfort.
Comfort. Okay.
It's okay. So it's comfort in one area because several things. I'm a beast in this one area.
Word.
And so if I stay in this lane, I can keep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, knowing your niche, like knowing your niche and knowing like your bread and butter. Oh yeah, that's your moneymaker. Absolutely. To refer back to the poem that we were talking about, that poet. I'm saying that I'm not that poet that only does a certain type of poetry, or I only sound a certain way, or I only talk about certain things. I talk about everything. I'm embodiment. I talk about life, and life is this big grand thing.
Can we talk about that poet? Because I feel like that's a good way to, if anybody's watching that hasn't already heard your art, that might be a good entry point. Like the inspiration behind that poet and kind of what you were getting at when you were expressing that.
It was what did I write that for? I had a show.
I think I was at the show when you first did it.
Yeah.
It was at Red, wasn't it?
That was Red. It was Soulful Sundays. It was a super feature. I think it was one of the first super features that we had, like the Pony Superman and Super Friends. That was crazy. And I wanted to write a piece about me. I felt like I had written all these poems about everyone else, or the effect that everyone else had on me, but I didn't write anything specifically about me. And someone challenged me to like, yo, you should write a poem about yourself. Like, you don't dig deep. You write about other people and what they did to you, but you don't write about yourself holistically. So who are you as a poet? I don't know who you are as a poet aside from Jeremiah. I was just like, okay, cool.
Right.
So what kind of poet am I? Okay. All right. I guess I could talk about this whole journey of me being a poet. So
That's dope.
That's pretty much where the inspiration came from.
That context makes a lot of sense because it makes sense how you got to towards the end. You say I am poetry, so I guess everything before that is building everything, the context for it.
And it was weird because even back then I still didn't believe it. I didn't believe that I was poetry then. Now,
you know what's crazy? All right, let's talk about that. Believing what you're saying, because you're saying even back then you didn't believe it, but you wrote it to be perceived that you believed it, and it just making me remember because I went to a Jay-Z concert. Right, we were talking about concerts.
Okay, see, now I'm mad at you. Now I get to.
I had to, man. I had to. But he talks about how when he said that who's the best rapper, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas. When he says that in the line, and where I'm from, he says that line.
Right.
And he says, back then, I didn't believe that, but I had to say that.
Right. And it's like, it's speaking things into existence.
Okay.
There is that.
Okay.
But it's also a subconscious thing. It's also a thing where, like, it's in you, but it just hasn't come out yet. So you don't believe it because you don't even realize that it's within you until it comes out. And the more you start to say it, the more you start to believe it.
Yeah.
The more you start to walk in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But you have to say it because we have to put those words out there.
You have to say it. If you don't admit it to yourself, if you don't believe that you're the best poet, you're never going to be.
Yeah.
You're never going to be, whether it's for a period of time or forever. If you never admit to yourself, like, yo, I'm going to be, or I am the best poet, or I'm at least one of the most important poets in the world, I never will be.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. I'm not trying to be the best poet in the world. I already feel like I'm the best poet in the world, even though I'm not. You know
what is that? What is
Is
that? What does that take?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to be one of the most. No, I will be. I will be one of the most important and most influential poets in the world.
Okay.
And again, that goes along with my message. That's what I'm here for. That's what the purpose is all about.
Gotcha.
And also poetry is a platform that'll take me, I have no idea where. You look at Maya Angelou, she wasn't just a poet. You look at Gil Scott-Heron, he wasn't just a poet.
Right.
Even Alicia Keys, you look at Alicia Keys, you know, she's not just a poet. Rappers, they weren't just poets. They, you know, took their poetry and turned it into raps. And then from rap, look at Jay-Z, look at Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, it's not just one thing.
Right.
Am I a poet? Like, that's going to be the main thing, yeah. But there's going to be so many other things that correlate from it.
Yeah.
Word. You know, it's interesting. I feel like you can know something and not believe it.
Absolutely.
So I feel like you knew it when you said I am poetry. You knew it, but you didn't believe it.
I knew it. I ain't believe it, no.
Yeah.
No. Because everything else around me was telling me it no.
Right. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Because I'm thinking about that more. You are poetry. No, but it's to me, it's like, it's a difference than saying, when, like, I'm bringing the Jay-Z bent line. It's a difference between saying I'm the best rapper.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself in a category that defines you as best. When you're saying I am poetry, it's just saying I'm life.
Okay. And if that's the case, you're
Cause
right. I'm free flowing.
I'm just throwing this out there because how I look at poetry is being yourself and being what you represent into the world is your life.
Word.
So for you to not believe that you are poetry, what? I know you explaining it, but it's like
I'm saying at that point in time, I didn't believe that I was the embodiment in poetry. I just thought that I was just good at it.
You're just good at it, okay.
But I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to say like I am poetry, I was like, whoa, this is kind of bold.
Yeah.
For me to say.
I got it now.
Nah,
I got what you're saying.
I got this in there anyway.
I got you.
Because I am poetry, and they need to know. Like, nah, like I still didn't believe it even when I put it in there.
It was like the vision of what you were, but you had to grow into it.
I had to,
it's like hearing God say something to you, and you're just like, no way. But then you know that's what it is,
right?
But you just don't believe it because you don't have that confidence in it.
Right. There's a lot of stuff that I've written where I'm like, whoa, I said that.
Now let's talk. Yeah, that was about to be my next question because I think we've all written some things where we pulling our own coattails.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was just writing something and it said, I said, I want to be, no, I said I will be the brightest that I ever see. I said that in the mirror when I looked at my father's son.
Wait, what?
I said, I just wrote this last night. I said,
what?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I said, I want to be, no, I will be the brightest that I ever see. I said that in the mirror when I looked at my father's son.
Oh, wow. When he looked at himself.
Yeah. I like how he did it. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? But you gotta talk that talk. You know
that's where that confidence comes from. Because you right there, be like, man, shit, bro. Like I got this.
Yeah. What's some lines that y'all talk that talk?
Man.
Nope. Go ahead.
For me,
no, go ahead.
Man, for me, it's like intro on Lynch Mob, man. And I hear Lynch Mob. I don't even know how I wrote it, but like I just feel like it's the beginning. So here's a topic of interest: Master met a chocolate black woman to make his mistress. Now mulatto women raising his children and scraping dishes, and we recycle this message that melanin makes us different. I thought that was so crazy when I wrote that, bro. Because I love when you can make everything and you can have different like inner rhymes,
okay,
and everything makes sense. And at the end of it, you get something from it. I thought that's the best part of rap is when you can deliver it with a rhythm and a concise flow, and then it hits you, and everybody's like,
But Rome DiCarlo, you, sir, when you said something, and you was like, you was it. when you said something, and I'm letting these poets know, I'm letting this audience know, I'm letting everybody that I'm talking to right now, because I've heard you talk that talk.
I already know one of my favorite verses from him.
And it may be the same thing. I'm waiting to see what he's going to. Because let me tell y'all, this is the chance of poetry right here. You know what, Lauren? Lauren and I, we've realized that this is politically correct. Rome. Rome is good PR. Anybody needs to know, go through PR training, go through Rome. He is going to keep it humble to the mumble.
Absolutely.
But I want you to rumble right now. I want you to talk your shit. Because you've said a line. You've said a few lines.
I can't, to be honest. It's too many. I don't know.
Okay. I got one.
Go ahead.
I got one. In the sweetest flow I kick, Vinatieri's
Oh,
on Ben &
yeah,
Jerry's.
I like that. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I was just like,
repeat that one more time.
The sweetest kick, the sweetest flow I kick, Vinatieri's on Ben & Jerry's.
Adam Vinatieri.
Yes, we understand. Yes.
You're just gonna break it down, like
you'll
break it down even further. So like when I was saying was,
we know what you were saying.
You know, Vinatieri had just won the Super Bowl with the Patriots that day.
Why did you say it?
I was just feeling it, bro. Like,
why were you feeling that?
Cause hip hop and rapping.
Yeah.
My phone.
Hey,
it's right up there.
We vibing to the ringtone. That sounded like what was that, some Philly rap or was that Jay-Z?
Oh, it's Hydra.
Oh, we need to get Hydra on the show. Shout out Hydra. Shout out the whole Queen City Collective.
You want to answer real quick?
Nah, I ain't gonna answer. I ain't gonna answer. He gonna see this later and saw that I left him on red. I hate you.
Oh man,
I hate you, Hydra. Hail Hydra. No, I'm just playing.
Yo, Hydra was the first feature at the new Word of Mouth, yo, and like he shut it down.
Yo.
Speaking of words and guys that have the pen that make you be like, man, who is this dude? Like Hydra got it.
Hydra got it. Absolutely.
Shout out to
that collective. Yeah, shout out to the Queen City Collective. Hydra is he's unfair.
Chill.
He is unfair.
That's how I was sitting. I was listening. I'm like, you know what?
Me and Rome were like,
I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 though. If you have a slow ass mind, don't listen to Hydra.
Right. You have to be attentive.
You got to be attentive. One night. I'm like, hey man, I don't want to think this much. God damn. I was like, God damn, man, you saying some fire ass shit. And I got to think about all this shit you saying. But the double entendres, the metaphors. It was a metaphor inside of a metaphor inside of a simile.
Yeah.
But that's what makes him great, man.
I know. And that's what I'm saying.
He ties your minds in the knots.
It's one of the type of people that you cannot just be sitting there and wait for the shock value.
Yeah.
It's that's interesting. He doesn't even use a shock value approach.
No.
It's more of you have to listen word by word. It's wordplay to the fullest.
Yeah.
And I like that. Because some people just stick on shock value, which is it works to their event. It works too because when you're performing, the audience gets to it. Yeah, it's a few people. You know, they like to use those big heavy words, and not heavy words as far as like big. You know, the character limit to a word, but more of what the word means.
Okay.
Like if somebody's doing erotic poetry, they'll
say something crazy.
Yeah, like dick, pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll
I know
use
exactly what you're saying.
Instead of like finessing their way to it, or like let's say you have a Black Power piece, you know, F the police. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That gets people riled up.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's.
Yes, poet named Stupid Man.
He's so stupid. I think it's all in how you approach it.
Okay.
I think all three of us, including in Hydra, I think we all genuinely approach the stage and approach this art with realism, with actually like being genuine about this. Like we care about the art, and I care about myself.
Right.
And I care that I'm putting this out for people to hear because it's a lot for me to do this. So you're going to get that emotion. That emotion is just going to come out because we're genuinely doing it.
Right.
So because we're all different, our styles are going to be different. Our voices are going to be different. Even our word choice and our wordplay is going to be different.
That's true.
But you can't. The thing that remains the same is that we're all genuine and that we're all.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
So my
you're
point
right.
is. So my point is, there are poets that are not genuine about what they're doing.
Right.
They're using the stage for attention, or they're using the stage for money, or whatever. They're not really genuine about the art and the emotion that correlates with the art. I am very passionate about this, so whenever I'm on stage, I'm extremely passionate.
I've seen you leave a performance. I've seen you finish, and you had to go cool off.
Dang.
Yeah, that is,
and that's how I know you living your words.
yeah, it's because
And I know that what that moment feels like when you have to separate because you've just entered a new life in those words.
I've had out of body experiences where like I'm doing a poem and I'm my soul, spirit, whatever jumps out my body and then just sitting there on the sideline just watching, and I'm watching myself perform. I've had that happen, and anytime that has happened, that's where I'm just like, okay, I gotta get out of here, because I can't have that moment to myself in front of everybody like that. I already had the moment. I was already a vessel, but now that my soul jumped back in my body, like I gotta go pray. I gotta go do whatever, because now I'm recognizing again where like I didn't believe that I was going through something, or I didn't believe what I wrote at the time that I wrote it. When I'm speaking it constantly, and I'm still going through the same thing over and over again, and I'm finding new things to latch onto in my own words. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 29:11. That's the piece where that happens the most, where I'm talking about my relationship with God, and how I want my life to go a certain way, or we all want our life to go a certain way, but it just doesn't. What happens when you come to the realization that your plan is not God's plan? So that realization is really difficult.
I first heard you say that.
Yeah, like it's really difficult. So like I have to walk in that daily. Like that's not something that you just get over in a week. You don't just write a poem and get over a situation. You know.
And see, and that was what I was first thinking of when you said I am poetry, but you didn't believe it, because what you're saying right there, that is the life. That poem which you write right there, that's forever life. You know,
forever, yeah, it's forever. Yeah,
now, even when we don't write maybe about a situation pertaining to ourselves, it's still life in a sense, because it's happening somewhere. So we're writing either to send a message. We're writing either on behalf of somebody. Yeah. We're writing it because we have to live as writers. We sometimes live what we write, and we've just said that. Yeah. But we take on energy. So we.
Oh, sorry. I just had a thought. So there's this poem that I have called Borrowed Halo, right? Yeah. Borrowed Halo was not about me initially. Borrowed Halo was this woman, one of my friends. Shout out to Melodic, by the way, and Danielle. This woman, Danielle, she came up to me. She said, "Soup, like you always do amazing. I can't write. I wish I could write. I wish I could speak like you, but I can't. But I have this poem. I have this idea. I have a title. Like, that's my thing. I can give titles. I give title to my husband for his songs. I'm going to give you a title for a poem." And I said, "What's the title?" She said, "Borrowed Halo." I said, "Go on." She was like, she told this whole story about her ex, her ex, and how she felt like she had given everything to him. Like she herself was an angel, but he wasn't. So she felt the need to let him borrow her halo. Yeah. Right. I said, "Oh, absolutely." So I told this woman that I was involved with at the time, who was kind of going through the same thing with her ex. Yeah. And she was like, and I told her the title and I told her the idea. She was like, "Oh my God, I understand that." So I actually had to meet, like they had to meet each other. Oh wow. And they like met and like became real good friends and everything like that. So that was cool, right? So I wrote this poem in inspiration from their stories. Wow. And it still applied to me in my situation. Yeah. It was like, I'm going to tell myself. No, I'm snitching. I mean, we men, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But like, it was one of the very few pieces where like I cried as I was writing it. Wow. Because I was so overcome with emotion that, one, that women go through that, and two, that I felt like I was in the same position, even though I was writing it from their perspective. Damn. Yeah. I didn't write anything about me, or you know what I'm saying? Like I literally wrote out what they would say to their exes. So if I were to do the poem right now, it would sound like I'm them. It would sound like I'm like the wife or like the girl. But it still applies to me. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It's weird.
You saying that? I think a lot of situations apply to us in some way, somehow.
We can find it, yeah.
Yeah. I think because it's just the fundamental of the situation. You know, it's about, because at the end of the day, it's about looking at it, but in how you grow from it. It's all about reaction. It's how you soak it in. What do you let it do to you? How do you let it get into your soul? And from your soul, how does that seed grow and bloom? Word. You know, so Yeah, I think it all can apply to us. Oh, with you both, and you talking about the artists. I gotta go back. If people being fake and phony.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me warm up into it just like this. The artist, the artist versus the artist versus the person, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do we separate the two? And I think you'll say yes. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming. I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming.
Who's we?
Okay, there we go. That's my answer.
I don't think I separate the two because I don't really have.
So why don't we separate the two?
I think. Okay. How do I put this? I think we individually know how to separate the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Okay.
I think
That's
we individually know how to separate the two.
Okay.
In terms of while we're on stage, while we're off the stage. I think we and how they intertwine. I think we individually know. I don't think the crowd knows how to separate the two. And also I think that there are artists that don't know how to separate the two. Yeah. Let's see. Oh.
Okay.
Maybe it may not be a separation at all. Maybe it's like a on and off type thing. So like, if I were to say I am poetry, right? Mm-hmm. That means even when I go to sleep and I'm not performing, I'm still poetry because I'm living. You said poetry is life, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm a poet, like
Yes.
So it doesn't get turned off at all.
Right.
Is there a difference between the artist and the person? Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
They operate differently, but the artist can't operate without the person.
Yeah.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Blues
Mm-hmm.
had a conversation with Blues, and I was talking to him about a situation, and he was just like, yo, people need to know that like you can't just turn this off. This is not something that you can just, all right, well, I'm done with it, and then you go about your life like nothing ever happened.
Right.
If that's the case, then you wasn't really in this like we all are, or like you say you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So for all of us, we're poets. Like we're just in it. This is just who we are, and life inspires what we do.
Right.
So how is there a difference between the person and the artist? How can there be a separation?
Just it sounds like the person might inform the artist because, like you said, you don't turn it off. So whatever your life situations you go through, they eventually turn into the art as when it's on your heart to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like you might go through a situation. You went through the situation that you were talking about just in life, but then it influenced your art because you created out of that place.
Right.
But that art could not have been created if not for the person that was living.
Right.
You know what I'm
Now, I think that there's a difference between I think that there's a separation from knowing the artist and knowing
Absolutely.
the person.
Absolutely.
And see,
I think that's where the separation
and that is
is.
the gray line that pisses me off too, because it's so tricky. Because you can be a dynamic artist,
Shitty
but
person.
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's take. You know what? And I think it's, for example, people love Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Love Bill Cosby, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at the situation. It's like the hell. Now,
It's like that.
I'm gonna tell you, I have a personal conflict.
Okay. No.
I have a personal conflict as a person of color.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah.
Because no,
word.
you don't know where I'm about to go with this.
I think I do.
Super
But go
man.
ahead. All right. I'm gonna
As
shut
a
up.
person of
Keep it.
color, and I enjoy my cookouts. I enjoy my family reunions.
Okay.
I enjoy any celebration where there are black people and how we congregate.
Okay.
And our number one song to congregate to,
Is what?
Step in the Name of Love.
Oh. Yeah. That is a conflict.
And when I hear that,
you just want to get into it.
you just gotta step. But I don't want to step to anybody underage.
That's a real conflict, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So if we step back
Damn.
as, we are artists and we know how to separate the two, how do we separate people from, what they create? And should we separate, or do they both go? Do we put that in a package and say, hey man, if you were a murder, if I found out today Rona Collins went out and killed 13 people, but then you got some fire ass work, I'm gonna listen, like, something like some
Yeah.
like, dang, like that. And you put out an album, and I was like, that album was fire though.
It's like a decision you gotta make, man. Sometimes because it depends. Because it's like a gray area thing.
Yeah.
Like because sometimes some stuff you be like, I can let that, I can let that slide. But the other stuff, it's like for me, I have that conflict with people like Post Malone. You know what I mean? Because like that's a whole nother conversation.
No, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
What about Post Malone? See, I don't know much about Post Malone.
Put a note on that. Put a note on that. Let's stay on this topic.
Putting a pin. All right,
we're gonna put a pin on that because I want to have this conversation with you.
Okay. Man. If you're talking that deep,
yes, I'm that deep.
like that deep, that's
because it has to be that deep.
It does.
It has to.
It does, but it's different when it comes to poetry. Like,
okay, explain it.
I think the art of poetry is very, is a lot more intimate than music, especially singers. Anyway, singers and rappers, just the lyrics that they use, they can say anything as long as you put a beat to it. It's gonna be good.
Fire ass beat.
Like if
that mustard to it.
Yeah, that mustard to it.
Yeah.
Mustard on the beat hoe. With poetry, man, especially with especially like how we do the way we do it. Like we allow our life, like our everyday life, to be put into our work. I don't think R. Kelly was like, yo, I was stepping in the name of love yesterday and like wrote this song. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he's a genius at making R&B songs that make people dance, make people feel good, make people feel some type of way.
And
so it's like a formula to it. Almost.
It's a formula to it almost. I don't think there's a formula to how we do what we do because we got to live our life in order for us to do it. Yeah. That's just me.
That's true. Now I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Because I have to. And I don't have to, but I just see my brain. My brain is twisted like that.
Hopefully you ask me the question that I think you're going to ask me.
Okay, because my brain's twisted. I don't know. But in poetry, you have different venues. You have different settings. Some people have to, some people will play that card to say, I do this.
Okay.
I perform this, you were talking about as far as just writing something without having the actual feeling to it.
Okay.
We were talking about that earlier. People are going to play that. I perform this just to be that. And they don't have to actually live. You know what I'm saying? It could be they could be the type of poet that just really does.
They're just really, really good at poetry. They're just really good at writing.
Right,
they're just a writer's writer, and they're really good at performing.
Exactly.
And that's where it gets tough. Mm-hmm. That's where it gets real tough to like kind of differentiate yourself because people that have appreciated the art and try to get to know other people. Other artists and found out that they were kind of like shitty individuals. Listen for I know what I was gonna say. I know people who stopped supporting me as a poet because of personal things that happen outside of the art. So it's like to go along with what you're saying, like I get it. Like, of course, like your ex-girlfriends aren't going to listen to you do poetry. Or 9 times out of 10, they're not going to listen to you do poetry or not read your poetry unless you got that fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are ex-friends that inspire me to write that I don't know if they ever will read or ever hear me speak ever again.
Right.
And it's life. Like, you just got to kind of roll with the punches, but it's weird.
You know what's crazy?
It's weird.
I go through the opposite of that, where people won't mess with me as a person, but they on my art all the time.
Oh wow,
that is like confusing to me.
I have a lot of people that are, and this is me closed off. Like I've been closed off for. I've actually been opening up for the past year, but I was closed off for like 2015, 2016. That was just shut it down. Like nothing. So 2017, I opened up a lot more, but I still had to protect myself because anytime that I'm putting my life out there, this is the catch-22. I'm putting my life out there,
right?
But that doesn't mean I'm giving you everything. People will take that and think that you're giving them everything. Yeah. No.
Right.
You don't know what it took for me to write this. You don't know the story behind this story.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm going through in order for me to speak this to you. So you do not know everything.
And Lee's kind of talked about this before too. Like that might what you wrote in that moment was that moment.
Was at that moment,
or it might be from somebody else's perspective. Exactly. Like it doesn't mean that's all of like who you are. Like I know Lauren's dealt with that too because she got a piece called Museum where she's talking about the dating scene. And while we were together, she's had people come up to her and just be like, "You're gonna get somebody amazing. Like, just stick in there." Or like, does he abuse you? Or like they don't know. Like they think that she's currently like in that struggle, and she's like, no, like sometimes you gotta give a PSA.
So it's cool because you were able to affect people that deeply
That
to
they
where
thought
they
you
were
were
like,
there.
oh my God,
That's
like
true.
I was there with you. Like that's
Yeah.
cool. But the catch-22 is when you step off stage,
It's like a
it's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather people just come in and just not assume.
yeah.
Just don't assume. Just talk to me. Be genuine about it. Don't be like, okay, I want to learn how to write, and then I say, we'll come to the writers' workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, I want to know how to write from you personally. See, no, like
Whoa,
you Satan, like you
yeah.
Satan, like no.
Yeah. That actually, and you know, that's the real thing because no,
Wait,
Like
what?
that's
no,
Satan.
no,
like,
listen, listen. Because
come
I remember
on.
when we were in college. This is the thing. This is the real thing. Because I remember in college there would be study groups, but then there were other girls that would be like, "No, I just want to study just you and me," and those ended up turning into other
Hey,
situations.
shout out to y'all.
I know Satan. I
know.
know Satan when I see her.
So he knows the look. He knows the tone of voice.
I
He
know
knows
Satan
he
when
knows
I
the
see her.
distractions. Is what he's talking
And the
about.
only reason why is because I've been tempted and I've had encounters with Satan.
And you know how that goes.
And I know how it goes, so I know not to do it anymore, man.
Lee, you know what we talking about, bro.
Come on,
We
man.
know how we know poetically know what we talking about.
I don't have poetry groupies. So
Okay,
y'all-
so as a person who constantly says that I don't have poetry groupies or poetry hoes, you're lying.
Yes.
You're lying. Even if it's
Even if he has to
mine-
specify poetry, he has groupies and hoes in other areas
my
of
gosh.
his relationship. That's what he's saying. That's what he was saying.
Okay,
This
maybe
is
that
what
might be
this
it.
is
I
what
was
I would
was saying unintentionally you do.
I
And that doesn't mean that they're women.
no, that is true.
Yeah, that's
Not
deep.
to call like women hoes a group.
That is true. That is true.
You can have groupies. You can have male groupies and male hoes.
That's the thing. That's
Okay.
the thing.
Leeches, bro. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
Hey, yo,
But-
leeches.
Damn, leeches.
Damn leeches. Hey, yo, that is wild. No, let's talk. No, hold on, real quick. Let's talk. I was just joking.
This
about
is
that.
a lot.
Now I was joking about that. But yo, y'all wilding out there. Y'all gotta stop. We underestimate the power of asking a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
We underestimate instead of just assuming, right? Just ask a question. You know what I'm saying? I've performed different pieces, and people talking about. I was writing about the other day, how people ask you questions about what you're going through and what you know going through this and going through that, and it's like, yeah, that was maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I'm able to perform. I'm able still to write about it because it's life. Somebody else may go through it, so it's inspiration for them.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Word. I mean, I think it's just. I understand. Like sometimes you get tired of that. You get tired of having to repeat yourself over and over again. But that's what happens when you continue to speak in different places. You're gonna meet different people.
No, true, definitely 1,000. So it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse, and you either about this life or you're not. I'm about this life, and I never thought that I would be.
Yeah.
It's not something that I ever saw, but if this is what comes with it, then I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
I had to find all that out though, like the hard way.
Yeah.
Like the hard way. I lost a lot of friends. I lost
Word.
a lot of people that I care about, because of this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't handle the fluff of being a spoken word artist. Was
The fluff.
the fluff, the exterior, the outside.
I'm not one for the
shell.
fluff.
Yeah.
It comes with it, bro. I hate.
I'm trying to learn. So maybe you can, because you're a vet. You're
a vet. I'm
you're
a vet now.
You're a
I
vet.
still feel.
Nah,
I still feel like I'm a rookie.
Nah, he's a vet. I'm gonna tell you why he's a vet. Because
Oh,
I
my
followed
God.
him on Instagram, right?
Oh my God.
So he for his birthday, he posted, I've been in the game for 10 years now. I want to take you all through my years,
That is
day by day. I started out as a young rookie at the age of in New Jersey.
Right.
Then I went down to Florida where I slaughtered a few slams. And then I brought my talents to Charlotte where I said I will take over the city as well.
That's not.
For a few
That's
years.
not entirely. See,
As
that's
a-
a whole different perspective. That's not why I did that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
So,
no,
as I
okay,
was saying,
all right.
he's a vet. That was my point introducing this. He's a
Yes.
vet. So, as a vet, as a young bull right here, I ask a vet,
Oh man.
the fluff. Like, I'm trying to get to I like to be I'm in my circle, right? My circle means not like my people, but it's just myself. I'm in my own bubble sometimes.
Word.
So stepping out, and I understand the power of networking, right?
Word, absolutely.
But the fluff of I hate small talk, right? I'm not gonna talk typically 9 times 10 until I'm really inspired to say something. Like when I met you, it was after you performed. I was inspired to really like, damn, you know what I'm saying?
And it just happened.
And
Boom,
the
boom, boom.
energy like that kick. Same thing with like when I first seen you, I'm not running up to just
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I can't do that because it just
Right.
feels phony. It's like even with the leeches out there, I don't know how y'all really survive being a leech because it's just phony. Like and that I just can't. So how do you work around that fluff?
You want to go first? Or you want me to
Yeah,
go
both
first?
of y'all.
I'm gonna pass this one to you, bro. Cause I feel like
No, Rome. You're not passing the
No,
ball.
no.
He scored.
I'll pass it back to him. I'll
Okay.
pass it back to him.
Coming back to you.
Because I think we could probably both tag team this joint. Because me and him are pretty much similar.
Okay.
yeah.
I can speak for him, and he'll probably speak for me in the
Okay.
same way. This dude is humble. Like he's very like keep to himself. Like he's cool. Like if you approach him, like he'll still be nice to you, still be genuine with you. Just don't come at him on no BS type thing, right?
Essentially.
Essentially.
Yeah.
For me, I'm pretty much the same way.
Okay.
I try my best to be nice to people as long as they're nice to me.
Right.
I'm never one. I don't want people to feel like they can't talk to me
Okay.
if they genuinely want to talk to me.
Okay.
I have a track on the super tape, the mixtape that I put out, and I did a poem to Chance the Rapper's "No Problem," and the track is called "Super Humility." And it's talking about me being humble and how people say that I'm too humble or people say that I'm not humble enough or whatever, like how I should feel, whatever, ego. And in one of the lines in it, I say it was at a Tinder date where someone said that I was untouchable, where they felt like they saw me on stage, they saw me in the lights or whatever, and they felt like, yo, I can't even, like the way that I presented myself was like, yo, don't even think about coming close.
Coming at it. Okay.
Yeah.
So like me and Hydra were having this conversation about being untouchable, and it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's a struggle because I want people to feel comfortable enough to come talk to me
Right.
if they genuinely want to talk to me.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna protect myself from the BS, from the bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's one. That's one way to deal with the fluff is to protect yourself, to have your armor on, to have your wall up. And that's kind of hard because you're a poet and you're very expressive. You try to, you know.
And you don't want to come off as an
And
asshole.
you don't want to come off as
Because
an
then
asshole.
that word goes around.
Yeah.
That, yeah, he's
Right.
dope, but
He's an asshole. No, it's just you have to be personable
Yeah.
to people, man.
that is powerful what you said. I know you about to go, but that's powerful what you said as far as that person thinking I can't even. I was in a relationship with somebody
Oh shit.
and they said, and they were like, I can't, I just don't feel like I'm up on your level. And in my head, I'm fucked up. Like, yo, what you mean? Like, if I like you and I'm rocking with you, we right there.
Yeah.
But they're like, I just, you know what I'm saying? You got this going on, you got that going on. I just don't feel like I'm.
I was about to
Bring
speak into your life, bro. I can't do that. Not on camera.
Table
No,
X.
no,
I need to hear. I feel like I get gain from that too. Whenever you do have this conversation off camera.
Yeah, off camera. We'll talk about it. 'Cause
Yeah,
personal,
that's
too.
cool.
We're not gonna talk about that.
That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, man, I was just. You said a lot that I definitely agree with, and for me, it's definitely like a separation, and maybe I'm like that in general too. But I think I naturally have walls up, so
Right.
I don't typically
do?
I don't let people up close anyway.
Yeah.
So when I go into the scene, I'm very cordial. I speak to people,
You
and
smile.
you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But like, I guess it's kind of like the politically correct thing, like you're saying. Like, I'm definitely gonna. It's almost like business. I'm in there,
It's
like
business. I joke with you.
Yeah.
But no, it's business. Well, come on, let's admit
Oh, no.
it is business.
It is
Yeah.
business. It is.
Right.
It is. I mean, I wanna get to a place where I make enough money
Business.
Yeah.
to live off of.
Poetry is literally life.
What's the American dream, bro? What's the American dream? Everybody has this whole conception of what the American dream. The American dream, in my eyes, is doing what you love to do and being paid enough for you to live off and have kids.
Yep.
Being paid well off, doing what you love to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the American dream. So if I can make enough money, and not saying that I got to make $30 million being the poet, that'd be cool if I'm the first $1 million poet. You never really hear about $1 million poets, but whatever. that'd be cool if I make $1 million off of being a poet. But I just want to be able to provide for myself right now, and hopefully a wife and kids.
Yeah.
Through poetry. That way I can show my kids, like, look, it don't matter what you do.
Yeah.
It don't matter what you do. You do what you. I did. I had poetry. Yeah. Poetry was given to me. This is a gift that was given to me. So whatever gift you have that God gives you, utilize it.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah, you're gonna struggle, but it's possible. Backtrack. Yeah, backtrack. Walls.
But before I just want to say, what you said was important too. This is on some parental stuff. I'm not a parent or nothing, but I said when you said that this is the gift I was given, so I utilize it. Whatever gift you were given, utilize it. Because there are parents out there that'll try to control their kids. I've been reading a book, and it was talking. This guy, his parents were trying to control him in a certain direction, but he had all these entrepreneurial ideas.
Right.
He followed those, and now he's like worth 800-something million.
Right.
But whatever gift those kids have, we need to encourage people to use the gifts that they have. Don't try to force them into something that they're not. Like,
word.
I just want to give that PSA.
You can't make a painter be a ball player. You can't turn him into.
Yeah. Like, he wants to be a painter.
He wants to be a painter. And then they wonder why kids resent their parents. Like, all right, never mind. Anyway.
Yeah. But now go back to the
I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about me.
Yeah, I'm not talking about me either. I was just saying. Like,
that wasn't personal. I was just talking about. Anyway.
Lee was just smiling. He's like, I'm playing this.
No, it's funny. It's like when 8 Ball said people want to judge, blame Eminem for their bad kids, acting like he made them do what they did.
Right.
He said that's a ludicrous song.
Right.
8 Ball said that?
Yeah. That was 8 Ball? Huh.
Yeah, listen to it's on one of them albums.
One of them old Ludacris albums.
One of them albums.
Chicken and Beer.
Oh, yes.
Okay. That's why I heard it before. I had that.
Yes.
I gotta make it through these hard times.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
I gotta make it through these. Yeah.
I know. Wow. I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go listen to Chicken and Beer today.
These walls.
What was I talking about? The walls.
Breaking
The
down
fluff.
the walls.
The fluff. Always protect yourself. That's like the main thing. The second thing is accept what comes with what you do. Accept it. Like there's nothing you can do about it. You're on a stage. You're a young black man in America speaking life into people. You're gonna garner attention. Period. Don't matter what you could be terrible and you still have people like looking at you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So you're always gonna garner attention. Don't let you be super dope at what you do. That's going to garner even more attention. Yeah. That's going to garner even more people that want to either work with you or try to take from you or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's always going to be that attention. I hate the spotlight. Like, I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to probably listen to this or watch this and be, like, critique my voice and, like, how my hat is dirty. Like, I hate it. Yeah. But I'm used to it. My father is a photographer. My mom is a software engineer, so they're very great at their job. So they've always been the center of focus. They've always been the leader of the team. They're both the oldest of all of their siblings, so they've always been like the focus, right? Right. So me being the oldest, them having me, I was, the firstborn of my generation. So I'm like the oldest of like all of my cousins, right? So. As a kid, I was always like put on Front Street. And I'm talking like, I can't believe I'm gonna tell y'all this, but like I was in a choir, like I was a church boy, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So like I was in a choir. Yeah. Like I sang in choir. Yeah. Like lead.
Oh dang.
Like I would sing lead, like I was vice president of like the choir, like. I was in skits in church. Like I would read the announcements. I would do the welcome. Like I didn't realize how much that correlates with me being a poet now.
Oh wow, yeah, you were getting on stage.
I was already on the mic when I was a kid.
Hold on, you bugging, yo.
What you mean?
Cause man, now.
So listen. So here's
nah. You listen. You listen, yo. You telling me you over here can sing?
Yeah, he played instruments. He played piano.
Yo, you see?
And you can play. Yo, all right.
Listen,
now
you snitching.
I snitched.
Now his stock just went up.
So that's my point. First of all, I cannot sing now. I can sing before puberty.
Okay.
Can't sing now. Absolutely not. I can hold a note. I can harmonize a little bit. Woo 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 woo. Like I can do that in the background where you can barely hear me, but I can't sing. But my point is that like my parents, there was always a fear of me. There was always a nervousness attached to me being on stage or being on a mic or having people look at me. Yeah. I didn't like it. Like I hate like. You're gonna do the announcements today. No, Mom. Like I don't want people looking at me. I don't want like. And then these old women come and like kiss me on the cheek and say, "Good job, baby." And, like they're creepy and they smell like old lady perfume and peppermints. And like I didn't like the attention that came with it. Okay. But it got to a point where I got used to it. I was just like, all right, I guess I got to read these announcements because somebody else couldn't do it, so somebody else couldn't read, so I got to read them because I'm actually
Superman got to be there to save the day.
Superman got to be there to save the day. This is all before Superman, and it's crazy me talking about it now, how it all correlates as to why I'm a poet and how I'm a poet now. Right. I went through all these things from then till now. Wow. And
let's look at that timeline.
Right. Like I was
flying through the window at the age of 3, saving hoes, saving the toddler hoes. I mean, yo, this is amazing.
Oh no, my life is crazy. Like when you said like the artist versus the person, I'm like, I don't know if he knows what he's getting himself into, because my life is nuts. Yeah. Like you know how people say like I could write a book. Yeah. No, like you could write a book. Literally.
That's good, but that's good. It gives you content.
Yeah.
You're not really searching for content.
And this is where I say like I need to do more. I was in a slam. I visited Jersey. Did I visit Jersey? I think I visited Jersey. I was still living in Charlotte. I had just moved to Charlotte, and I visited Jersey, and they had a slam, right? It was my old stomping grounds, Loser Slam in Jersey. Shout out to Loser Slam, by the way. Chad Anderson, Nicole Homer, all y'all. Loser Slam, it was called Loser Slam because they flipped the scores. So you know how like it's 0 to 10, like 0 being the worst, 10 being the best? Yeah. They flipped the scores. So the better the poem would be, the closer it would be to 0. Okay. The worse the poem would be, the more it'll be closer to 10. Yeah. So it would be like golf. Lowest score wins. So you had to lose. So it was losers. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I go back to my old stopping grounds and I get past the first 2 rounds. I think I got to did I get to the final round? Yeah, I think I got to the final round. And I don't know what poem I did, but I went against this dude, and I can't remember his name. I still follow him on Instagram. He's a firefighter now. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But this dude did this poem about runaway slaves and correlated into like the current times about like black people like running, like he was telling run nigga, like that's all I remember is him saying run nigga, and he was just real precise, like he was just on it. He did poems about people getting shot, like just his life, and the way that he was doing it, the way he conveyed this message was just really powerful. So he wound up beating me in the slam, right? So my mom was like, yo, you're really, really talented, but there's just certain things you just don't know about, Greg. There's certain things you just can't talk about. There's certain things you just can't talk about. You can't convey that message because you don't know anything about it. You don't live that life. You never been poor. Well, I mean, yeah, we're broke, but you never, been in that situation. You lived in the suburbs. You're not from the hood. Right. I'm like, I never acted like I was from the hood, even though some people may think I am. I don't know why, but I'm not. My parents are good. Like they've always been good. What was I gonna say? But because I've been good, like my parents are from the hood, but I'm not. So like they, anytime that I started doing poetry, they're just like, well, what are you gonna write about? Because you ain't been through much. Yeah. So to circle back,
now you've been through so much.
Oh my God.
You're like, hey mom, listen to this.
Right.
My gosh, Gregory.
There's things that my parents don't know. There's things that my parents don't know.
1,000%.
There's things that my parents didn't know until they heard.
That's what I was getting ready to build up to for you both. What is it like when you perform something and either your significant other or your parents? I'm using those two. I focus on those two. Oh no. Significant other or them, your parents hear something and they're like, and that you knew they didn't really know that you were about to go there. You knew you were about to go there with.
It's only happened one time for me.
Okay.
My mom came to a show I had. Shout out to JC. JC used to have a joint at Morehead Tavern every month.
Right.
And I think I featured there a couple of years ago, and my mom came, and she came with one of her best friends, one of my aunties.
Okay.
And they had never been to my show before.
Oh boy.
And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, oh, this could be a little weird. But then once I made the decision of it is what it is, and once I felt the vibes in the room, I was like, I'm just going for it.
Fuck it.
I'm just going for it. You know what I mean? I don't know if I don't know if it's gonna be a conversation later.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but we about to do this. 'Cause I need to get this off my chest.
My baby's cussing.
But then when you do that, you don't know what you're gonna get. But it ended up being like almost like a respect. Like, wow, I didn't know my kid, my son, my little nephew had all that in him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or was able to even break things down.
They think it's cute. Before
before
they ever see you, they think it's cute. Okay.
And then they see the actual effect and the impact. Is
he's actually. That's how it is with parents. I love parents, but sometimes that's how it is with parents. They gotta sometimes see how others to see that you actually can make an impact with it. And okay, all right.
Yeah.
You ain't just out here bullshit.
Oh my God.
Yes,
that happens often.
Really?
To me.
Hold on. Which part? This is gonna be cute or
no?
Oh, he actually did some shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, word?
Yeah.
Like, you felt that? Like, were you talking about me?
Okay, you talking about Danny. Okay.
I'll use a family member first. My parents. I have this poem about my mom, right? I have this poem about my mom. It was a conversation that we had.
Okay.
And we were singing a hymn in the kitchen, right? We were singing "Pass Me Not." So we were singing that in the kitchen. We were singing that in the kitchen. She was just like, "Yo, that's my favorite hymn. Like, it's my favorite hymn of all time.
Okay.
Like, I want it played at my funeral." I was just like, "You got it, bet." Like, you know, whatever. Later on that week, she comes and tells me like, "Yo, my surgery for she has something going on. With her. My surgery is next week." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then my mind, because it works the way that it works,
right,
jumped out like, "Yo, I was just talking about her funeral last week, and now she's gonna tell me that she's getting surgery. Oh nah." Like, so all these thoughts started coming in my head, right? One of the thoughts that I had was, if Dad ever decides to remarry, we're gonna have to kill that bitch, right? So I say that. So I did this poem in front of my parents. The first time I did this poem, I did it in front of my parents in a slam. And my parents are in the audience, and like everybody's crying because it's real heartfelt. Like, everybody's crying. It's just this whole thing, right? Yeah. So we get done with the slam, and my father comes up to me, and he's just like, "Yo, man, I love that poem about your mom, man. Like, I know you know your mom, but why my new bitch gotta die? Like, why she gotta die? Like, I don't understand why you gotta get rid of her, man. She didn't do what she do to you." What she do to you?
Yeah.
I'm like that. Like, I was dying laughing. So
that's funny, right?
That has happened. There have been times where I talked about differences in our relationship with my father, where like I almost resented my father. I didn't like him.
Okay.
And I've done poems about it where I felt like I was sheltered as a kid, or I felt like they were hard on me than what they really should have.
Right.
And they found out that I felt this way. I had been feeling that way after, you know, them hearing that poem.
Right.
And they had to come and talk to me and say, "Oh, I didn't know that you felt this way." Certain cases they were like, you know, that's crazy. Like, you know, I apologize. And then other times they were just like, "Look, suck it up." Yeah. Like, we did what we did because we're your parents and we love you.
Exactly.
And you turned out pretty good, didn't you? Like, yeah, all right, whatever. Ex-friends, ex-girlfriends. I think we talked about this last time. I'm glad we're talking about it now.
Okay.
I have a track called "Letter to My Exes."
Hey, that sounds hot. If y'all don't got the super tape, y'all need to go download that.
Wait, hold on, real quick plug.
Plug. Super tape. It's about to be a year old. Super tape is a mixtape that I put out, spoken word mixtape, and it's pretty much spoken word against industry hip hop beats. So I did a poem to Chance the Rapper, No Problem. I did a poem to Jay-Z, December 4th. I did a poem to Kanye West, 30 Hours.
Wow.
Letter to My Exes is a poem that I did to Bryson Tiller, Sorry Not Sorry.
It's one of the hardest beats.
Right. But I did it that way because it's very passive aggressive. I'm literally apologizing for being who I am.
Passive aggressive.
We love it. Isn't it fun though? So I first of all, I wrote it in the writer's workshop, right?
Oh wow.
I wrote that piece in the writer's workshop. And then somebody was playing the Bryson Tiller beat somewhere. Like, somebody was playing the actual song, and I was just like, yo, I'm in the middle of putting together this tape. I wonder what poem would go with this, because I have a lot of poems about my exes. I was like, oh, Letter to My Exes. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Like, sorry, not sorry. Oh, my God. Like, this works, right?
Yeah.
So I go into the booth, and I'm like, should I do this?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying some, like, real, like.
Pull the trigger, push the button, going in.
I'm like, should I say this? Like, I'm saying stuff, but
Yes.
it's subtle, but it's not subtle for the person that was
Right,
involved.
they know
It's
that-
not. They
yeah.
know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And people are going to learn some new things. My parents are going to learn some new things that they did not know. And they may ask questions, they may not. They may just think that I'm just saying it just because it sounds good in the poem.
Yeah.
I don't know. But this is some heavy stuff here, man.
Right.
It's subtle, it's passive aggressive, but to me it's heavy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be able to handle having somebody say this to me or having them mention.
Come on now. You can't just tease us. Give us one little bar stanza. Yeah.
How does it start? Hello, past. I would ask you how you've been, but you still in. Okay. Hello, past. I would ask you how you've been, but you still in contact with me for some reason. I'm trying to think of other stuff. I gotta find it. If I can find it,
You know, well, but hold on. I can play it on. Where can I get it again?
you can. Oh, so the super tape is on NatPiff and SoundCloud.
All
so
right, that's what we gonna do. Which track is it? What's the name of the track?
Letter to My Ex.
Letter to My Ex. We gonna play that joint.
Yo,
I just-
Jesus.
When the show gets
trying to
edited,
get me-
that joint gonna be playing.
You try to get me shot. Like, okay,
We
so
good now.
so listen. So
Like-
my point is that when I put out that when I put out the super tape, I was getting phone calls.
Yeah.
I was getting phone calls and text messages out the wazoo.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
they're probably gonna watch this. Like my ex is probably gonna watch
Yeah,
this
yeah,
and be
yeah.
like, "Oh, so other bitches was texting you too." like they didn't know.
I
like
love
I
that.
didn't mention.
I love that. Yes, it was more. It wasn't just you. You damn Skippy.
No, that's not the case. Like
Matter of fact, it wasn't even about you.
I didn't mention right. Like there were certain things where I was just like, I wasn't even
Talking about you.
talking about you in the sense like the whole poem wasn't just about you.
Yo, I've been
whole
through that.
poem.
It's about several different situations.
It's letter to my exes, and that's not just ex-girlfriends. That's
No.
ex-friends too.
Oh wow.
in your ex-girlfriend's mind, letter. Once she sees letter to my, boom, she answers her name. it's no letter to my. Oh, what? I am zoomed in now. All ears. I did what? We did what?
Right.
And this is no shade. Again, this is no shade to any of my exes.
This is
I'm
all
really
shade
trying
from Poetically.
This is no shade.
I love shade.
Like, I love shade too. I love being petty.
Yes.
But I can't
What's
do
your
that.
birthday?
May 21st.
Yeah, Taurus.
Gemini. I'm a Gemini Oris.
Really? Is that so? It's on the edge? Or
Yeah,
both?
I'm on the cusp. He was like,
Yeah,
is
you-
that a
yeah.
dinosaur? What the
Right.
It's the face of confusion. Wait a minute. What just happened here? X plus Y squared. All these numbers going in my head. Yeah, you definitely petty.
But
That's the
yeah,
petty
like
season.
I'm petty. I am. But I didn't put out letter to my exes to be petty. I put it out because I feel like
Lee doesn't believe you right now.
I know he doesn't. I didn't. I put it out to add dynamic to the project.
Yes,
That's real.
Exactly.
That is very true.
I'm with you.
But again, I knew what could potentially come with it, and I was just ready for it. I was
You're
just like, you know
good
what?
because when I did stuff like that, I didn't know what was gonna come with it. I'm just doing it.
Now, mind you,
Okay.
it had to get to the point where I recognized what would come. Because there have
Gotcha.
been times where I would do poems in front of an audience,
Yeah.
and I would make things very, very personal, and I would embarrass myself or I would embarrass that other
1000%.
person. So I learned not to do that. Be very tactful in what I do. I can still express myself, but not at the expense of other people.
Yeah.
Got you.
And that's where I think the confusion of letter to my exes came in, because they thought that I was just like bashing them. I wasn't bashing them.
Yeah.
I don't feel as though I was bashing them, even though I was the one that was done wrong. But whatever.
You never feel like we're bashing.
We never feel like we're bashing.
No.
But no, come on now. You don't have like the fuck you poems. You know you got fuck you poems. You don't have.
I can be honest. I don't.
You don't have fuck you poems.
I have fuck you poems to me.
Whoa. Oh,
Hey, you know what's wild? I got
I got a whole book that
I don't.
it's called 808s and Heartbreak.
I
Like,
don't.
so,
I have disappointment, but then it's like, okay, I can't be too disappointed because I understand the situation. I played a part. Now I got some bars sitting in my head top earlier this year, and I found out what it felt like. And I said, yeah. And you know what's crazy? I wouldn't even known about it to the person that said it. I know they were like, they hit me up, said, I know you probably see the video, you probably feel some type of way. It wasn't, personal or nothing like that. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, Pastor, I didn't even think about your ass.
They dry stitched on themselves before.
Yeah. I went to the page, I'm looking, you performed this.
Ooh.
Nice. You know what I'm saying? But
Have I ever had a diss poem?
yeah, have you ever had
Yes.
something? Okay.
Yes, I have.
Nice.
I have had a diss poem performed. What is it performed in front of me? Or to me? I think it was to me.
Okay.
So in a private setting.
No, we were in a public setting.
Yo, I wish somebody
but
would
she
give
was
me a private setting.
I don't know if
get out my
anybody else.
face.
I don't know if anybody else heard her though. Like she did.
Yo, this is
Mind you, me and her are like this now.
Okay.
Like we're real cool. But she
Wait a minute, what do
she
you mean
did
no one
a
else
this
heard her?
version of new shit.
Oh.
I have a poem called, and she was like, "This that fake shit." And I don't want to. I was just like, "Shit." Like humble pie. Like I have no choice but to be humble because
pause. The reason
like-
I'm dead is because wait a minute, is new shit on your project?
No.
Okay,
It's
so this is the disconnect that the audience is about to have. If you haven't heard new shit, if you've heard new shit and then you hear what she did,
Like,
that's
it was-
hilarious.
you know
that
what-
made me. I didn't hear what she did, but when you say that, I'm automatically dead.
You know what's great though? It was a dope poem.
Yeah, it's got to be fire.
It was
gotta
dope.
be.
It has to be. Yeah, you can't have a diss poem and it not be. You can't have a fuck you poem and it be weak.
Yeah,
I don't believe you. I don't believe you still.
I love a good diss poem.
I like diss poems. I don't put them out as much.
It's gotta be the right situation.
It has to be.
I'm
the
not
right
even going to throw. I'm not even going to
Because
throw the
again,
question.
circle back. Attention.
Yeah.
Who hurt you? You don't even want to know. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to know, or
Yeah.
you actually may know that person, and you go back and tell them like, "Yo, Greg over here doing poems about you." Not Superman. Greg over here doing poems
That's
about
wild.
you.
That's why don't know. Hey, don't be saying, especially my first name.
Well,
And that's real interesting perspective because
because that's how they know me.
yeah.
You
So
understand what I'm saying? It's different.
yeah, dang. So when because it's still like your life influences your art. So when Greg's experiences influence what a poet named Superman says, but then they tie it back to Greg, it gets real mixed up.
Catch-22. You got to be willing to be okay with what comes with the life, yo.
And that's, you know what? Because I did a piece, and it's crazy because I had a piece like kind of how you saying you had one letter to your exes. I had one, but it was like kind of like that, and I used someone's name. Now
Ooh.
I'm
See.
okay. That's young. That's not even Young Lee. That's Young Benny. That's Young Benny because
Oh, Benny.
yes.
Thank you.
He didn't know.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you got it. All right. But that's because I'm gonna tell you how twisted my mind is. I be getting myself into petty situations and beef situations because I don't even know that it's causing tension. Am I twisted? I'm gonna tell you how twisted I am. I'm like, oh, this shit just rhymes right. It just rhymes right because the way it flowed, I'm like, oh, this shit tight the way it flows.
I think you being that petty. I think you that petty.
Yo, the way it flowed, I'm like, I gotta lay this shit down. And then I did it, and then someone hit me through the DM.
Yeah. I heard you was talking.
But you know what's
name
funny?
dropping.
You know what's funny? It wasn't even in the. It was me like. It was really like me being thirsty.
Oh.
So it wasn't bad. It was me being thirsty.
No, that's bad.
It's really. It's me being thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just. You know what I'm saying? Me being thirsty in a sense. But it was like to my old girl. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't even like feeling that way. I'm just writing it because it sound tight and it sound flow right. And I'm gonna be. You know what?
I'm just messing with you.
I know. You're gonna talk. Yeah,
I gotta
learned a
message
lot
you.
this year, and plus I hadn't written anything like that
Right.
for one time.
Right.
Like hadn't written anything about like a old situation but like one time.
Okay.
And that was like 2 years prior. So I wanted to write. The writer in me sometimes has to test new waters. You know what I'm saying? I have to go through a situation.
Absolutely.
So it may not even be a situation I'm currently even feeling, but I'm gonna walk back into the past and see how I was feeling in that moment and take myself through it. Yeah, and that person hit me say, that's defamation of character.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit was funny. I ain't gonna lie.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. And I got all love for that person, but it was funny. It was funny when it happened.
Well,
That's not defamation of character.
you name dropped her.
Do you know how many people have that name? I'm banned from even mentioning the name.
Fair enough.
So I'm not gonna mention.
I agree, but that's why I never put names.
And you're right. No, you know what? You're right. And but see, I'm so personal. Sometimes I talk about people like I've used my homeboy, and I've talked, but it's a situation where it might not even be bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just sometimes get locked into, and that's why I say what twisted my brain is.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to learn different things because not everybody's gonna take it how you take it. So you have to understand that you now have to paint the picture instead of just painting the picture of that person, paint a picture just of a silhouette, but the body and
Yeah, you ain't got to detail it like
you don't
that.
have to detail it. Just outline the body of the situation.
You can paint the picture, you can do your art, you can inspire people without the expense, not at the very expense of another person's character.
But I don't be thinking that's the character because I don't think people really know who the person is. But then
my life is too crazy. I can't risk it.
I feel you're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Can't risk it.
It gets to a point. Yeah, you're right.
And I'm starting to know more and more people, and my circles are starting to intertwine more and more every day.
And people be talking.
And people be talking, bro.
People be talking.
People be talking. And I just don't. They probably gonna watch this and be like,
how does Drake get away with that? Talking about
because he's that big, because he got that much money.
How does he get away talking about such and such on Peach Street?
And he got bodyguards. Like, if anybody gonna come after him, they gonna see this big 400-pound dude.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. Nah.
I don't. It's tough, bro. This is what comes with it.
Yeah, and I understand that now. And now I won't name drop again. You know, I learned my lesson on that. I just started flowing tight. I want to kind of spit it right now.
Bro, we got time, man.
I got time.
The people's watching.
People's
watching.
Nah, I'm damn.
I would.
That got me twisted. Got my DMs blown up again. That got me twisted. I got more faces out there.
I'm sure I said something in this interview where somebody's gonna hit me up.
And that's the
be
crazy
like,
thing too,
yo. Really?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was just talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
because we got a full life, right? And when I say a full life, like we've had past like situations. You may have like you got led to your exes, and you may do something, you may perform, and you may talk about like this situation right here. You may be talking to somebody now, or in this situation. I ain't gonna say you in a situation because whenever you're performing, if you're in a relationship, that person like Lauren knows, okay, boom, like about her that museum poem.
Yeah.
But when you in a situation like the dating phase, all that always gets tricky, yo.
I'm gonna stay out of this conversation. Y'all go ahead with that.
No, I'm just saying the dating phase gets tricky because I've done stuff and people like, they feeling, you know what I'm saying?
I'm staying out of this.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real. That's facts.
Yeah.
And you might say something because you'll say something. And then you'll get a call. You're like, so where you at right now? Like, in terms of, like, mentally. And just because you got to be on the same page.
Where you at mentally is...
You know what I mean?
that question, man, anybody hit you with the way you at mentally, yeah, you know.
I'm staying out of this. Y'all go ahead. Y'all had this conversation.
I'm done. I got nothing else to say.
I'm going to take a bathroom break.
I just had to get that out there. Like, yo, just understand when you're dealing with artists, I think humans, not just artists. I'm saying artists because we perform. We perform the situations we go through. We talk about the situations we go through. But as humans, we have different situations. So you can't really feel a type of way when somebody may reflect back on their life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or may talk about how they're feeling, in a certain moment.
Okay, word. And I get you on that. And that's part of the reason why, I tell, both of y'all, if you're going to be about this life, then be about it.
Be about it.
Understand what comes with it. Accept what comes with it because it's always going to be there and it's going to get even more. The bigger that you get, the more that you do it, the more fluff comes with it. Yeah. So, again, attention of women. People always wanting stuff from you. Dating is hard as a poet.
Is it?
Yes, for me, because I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible.
And you gotta
Terrible at
think.
what?
You gotta think. He's technically a public figure. So dating as a public figure is hard.
It's hard, bro. It's hard. It's all. So if anybody attaches if anybody attaches themselves to me, they have to understand that my life is crazy. Outside of me being a poet, my life has always been crazy, and just stuff just happens. It just happens. So
okay. Oh, great question then. So I think it's cliche to say what's the hardest thing, but is it hard because if you had to level things out, like if you had to rank them, is it hard because of time management? Is it hard because you're creative? You're creative, so you have to have your creative space, and sometimes you may not want to, let's say, spend a Saturday night. You need to write. Maybe it'll be a whole weekend where you just need to be creative. Is that hard from that standpoint? Is it hard from just sometimes that person, your communication has to come through the art before it actually comes to that person?
Oh, man, y'all trying to get me shot?
No, I think other artists go through situations.
Y'all trying to get me
and
shot.
they need to know. Okay, well I'll go.
I'm gonna still answer the question.
Okay, because I know for myself.
I ain't scared.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you Superman. You Superman. I don't want these questions to be kryptonite now.
No, it's not kryptonite. I'm just, again, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to, not put my business all out on Front Street and other people's business because it involves other people.
I got you. But this is just generic.
But at the same time, for me, it was never the creative. It wasn't the creative space. It wasn't that.
Okay.
The issue was always either finances.
Okay, got you.
Or attention from women.
Yeah.
It was. That's it.
Well, I feel like the latter part, you gotta take with the game.
But I think that's for anything you're good at, bro. Attention from women. Like,
yeah. So
people are always gonna be attracted to you doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I love that. I love that. Like if I'm dating a young lady, and you get mad attention. To me, that's hype. I feel like you should be hyped, but because that means that means you got some kind of value.
Right.
It's like if you put money in like if you have an investment, if it's not anybody jumping on it, it has no value.
Right. I agree. And again, like it all amounts to how you react to the attention that you're getting.
Okay.
I always, especially lately, like anybody that I've tried to date or anybody that I've tried to like get to know, look. My life is crazy. I have people flock to me for whatever reason. Whether it's because I'm pro or because I'm a good person. I don't know. It's always been like this. I've always had people try to come up to me. My mom said, this is good. This is real good, fellas. This is real good. This is good. My mom said, Greg, since you were born, you always had people like gravitate toward you. It takes a special person to date you and your brother, not just because y'all are artists, not just because you're a poet and he's a producer. People have been flocking to y'all since y'all were babies.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a woman of a certain type of self-esteem
to
deal with that. Because in order for me to allow my husband to go on trips and do
trust.
That's trust.
Yeah.
It takes if I didn't have self-esteem, then he would have already cheated on me in my mind.
Yeah. Damn.
But
that's real.
He has it because I know my worth and he knows my worth and I know his worth. So you need somebody that knows your worth and you know her worth as well.
1000%.
And she's able to rock with it because, and this is what I realized, whoever's going to be with me is going to have to deal with this lifestyle that I'm in right now and how it changes and how it fluctuates. They're going to have to deal with it because this doesn't move. This doesn't stop. 2, you got to be okay with the attention because if the eyes are on me, all of the eyes are going to be on you because you standing right next to me. And if you can't handle that,
hey, do you ask when you're in a dating? Do you ask people just because you know you were poetry? Because I know and how egotistical my brain can get sometimes. I know that one day I'm about to pop off, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I not even like talk, not even bring the question into like that. But how do you like to? Could you ever date like a celebrity? Do you ask somebody that question, see what their answer is?
Oh, like do you ever see yourself dating a celebrity or anything like that? No, I never asked that.
Okay.
I've always tried to, anybody that I met outside of poetry, I always try to like kind of implement them into it to see how they like it or how they handle it.
Can you wait a minute? Can you really? And I cut you off. Cause my brain. The question popped there.
No, go ahead.
And it correlates with what you're saying though.
Okay.
Bringing them into that. Could you vibe with someone that didn't vibe with the poetry scene?
That didn't vibe with it.
Maybe okay. Not say vibe. They didn't vibe with it, but it was like, oh, okay, this is nice.
Depends.
It's nice.
It's
cute.
It depends. It depends. I mean, the scene as a whole, that's one thing. Listening to me do poetry, that's another. I can't date somebody that doesn't like my poetry. No.
like you alright.
Like you alright. Like
that ain't it.
Like that ain't it. Like I can't. I can't date somebody that. That's like, yo, you like, why are you yelling? Like you suck. Like I don't even understand. Why do you?
And they just give you a nice smile.
Just give me. Good job. No,
pat you on the D.
No, I couldn't date somebody like that. I've dated people who are like, yo, that's just not my scene. Like I appreciate what you do. Wow. But it's just not my scene. I'm just like, okay, cool. This is my scene.
Yeah.
Like, and for a while, again, this is all trial and error, where like I had to figure it out. Where like I'm begging this person, like, yo, come out, please. Like I want you to come out. I want you to do this. And it just wasn't their scene. I was trying to force something out of them that wasn't possible. And I had to learn that, and I learned that now. So anybody that wants to try to attach themselves to me, like, look, here's what it is. This is my life. This is what I do. I work every day. I move every single day. I don't move in a way that's status quo. I don't have a 9-to-5, but I have a full-time job. I work during the nighttime.
Right.
Outside of me hosting with BZ Beats, MCing with DJ BZ Beats as the Remedy, the DJ duo, hosting 2 open mics, hosting a writer's workshop, traveling with Queen City Collective. Like, I do this. This is what I have to do in order for me to get back all the things that I lost.
Right.
So for anybody to come into my life and try to attach themselves to me, I already got my dukes up, because you're not going to take from what I'm trying to do for myself. Right?
Yeah, sure.
You're not.
And that's great. You should be like that.
And if you are going to attach yourself to me and you're not going to take, you're not going to manipulate either. You're not going to control this either. And that's for everybody. That's for anybody, not just women that I'm dating. Right. That goes for anybody.
1,000%.
So anybody that's going to have to is going to get with you is going to have to be able to add value to what you're doing.
You have
to do
the
same for her.
Absolutely.
I think that's the point. That's the point of a relationship.
I was about to say that you have to. That goes around.
But it's different when you're a poet, though. For some reason, I feel like it's different when you're a poet. I think it's different when you're a poet and when you're a rapper. Like a rapper, you can be like, oh yeah, this is the fantasy, or singers, yeah, this is the fantasy. Actors, yeah, like I'm acting or whatever.
It's not really a poetry fantasy.
It's not really a poetry fantasy.
Well,
unless you're doing like erotic shit, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like erotic shows, like this is their whole fantasy, or whatever. But when I'm bringing my life, out onto a stage, like I'm leaving myself exposed to a certain extent.
Yeah, there's a fantasy that goes with that too, because I think people like to see that honesty. That power, I feel like people see get poured into, and they want to attach themselves to somebody who can do that, or they see you getting free from whatever you're talking about on stage, and they want to be able to come to you. Sometimes I feel like attach yourself to that.
In this day of age, you can see. I mean, people are popping off.
Yeah,
in the spoken word world. So so you can see where it can go.
Right.
And if I feel like I know just you two in the characteristics where you already, but you would be with somebody that sees that vision, boom, popping off. Okay, so let me get to a beat real quick. I want y'all to talk real quick.
Okay.
See, you about to incriminate yourself right there. Yeah, I saved you.
Okay.
Y'all talk about something.
But I would say I always was attracted to the idea of somebody who I could be like a partner in crime with.
I'm gonna say something really, and this may be throwing shade. I don't care at this point because it's the truth.
All right, at least try to save you. So just
no. I don't care about being safe. They've all seen the potential.
Okay.
They hate the process.
Oh, okay. No, that's real.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's the key to the whole thing, though.
Just nobody could rock with the process, and I get it. I don't even want to rock with the process. I don't like where I'm at right now. I'm good, like I'm healthy. I can eat. I got a job. I make money. but I don't have the things that I once had at one point that society says that I should have, or even more than that.
Are they not like in the process of you probably like, is it a financial process or is
financial
it
process, work process? Because well now like I work a lot, so I'm doing a lot. I'm constantly moving.
So
I burn
free
myself out
time.
sometimes, so I don't have free time as much as I used to.
Yeah.
The attention, everything, like all of it.
Yeah, it's a
just-
lot goes into it.
It's a lot.
It's a package deal.
It's a package deal.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I'm crazy. Me myself as a person, I'm emotional and I'm like spiritual and I have all these things. I think a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just a lot as a person. Period. So it's hard for me to, especially now, it's hard for me to be like, all right, well, I'm looking for her. Like, yo, I gotta find her. No, like my work. Like I got this passion. I got moves to make. I got stuff that I gotta do for myself.
I
And
think you're probably right to focus on that though, because everything else will fall into place.
everything else will fall into place, and I'll meet that person that'll be able to not even trust the process, go along with the process,
Just
be a
roll-
part of the process,
roll
help
it down.
along, and I can
Yes.
help along with her process.
1000%.
I just gotta believe that she exists. But all right, so
Hey, no, and
That's a whole other
yo,
topic.
I feel you on that because, hey, man, I'm in the same boat with you. You have to be willing to know that person exists, but I think at the same time,
she's out there.
Yeah. I think we all got. I think it's just like the universe aligning us. When we put what we want, what we working for,
universe, yeah.
what we working for is always gonna come back. I mean, it's got to, it's there.
It might
So
be a
it's
Jersey.
being
If
true.
that's the case,
Yeah.
then I'll probably end up with a Jersey girl. If that's the case.
You might already know her. You don't know.
Yeah, shut
It's
up.
just- it's-
I'm not. Listen now.
You
See,
know-
now.
You never know. Or you might meet her tomorrow, or you might meet her
I kind of.
after. Bruh, you might get some opportunity to be some resident poet artist back in New Jersey or something, and you move from Charlotte. She might not even be
Did you
in
move back
Charlotte.
to New Jersey real quick?
What is Jersey like? Is it like people building and stuff like that, or do you feel like Jersey's kind of a stagnant?
I can't. Oh my God! I'm
Yes,
always
you
the one
can.
that leaves.
Okay.
Let's put it that I'm like I've lived in Orlando for a couple of years. I went to school in Philly. Lived in New York for a summer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought my fault. That was in the slideshow. I slaughtered a few slams in Philly, and I was the lyrical miracle in New York.
The lyrical miracle.
And then I brought my talents to Charlotte,
No, that's
the
not.
Queen City, where I became the king.
That's not how that. No, that's not how. First of all, those whole 10 pictures that I posted for my birthday was literally, I was turning 30. I'm 31 now. That was 2 years, about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't let that go.
I posted
That
a
was
picture
dope.
of me
No,
in
it
my
was dope.
20s.
It's dope because like I'm like, wow, like bro been in the game.
But I didn't even think about it. I didn't think that like I started writing when I was 20. I didn't even think about
that's
that.
fresh.
I just doing something because I thought it was fun and it was, you know, whatever.
Whatever.
What are you about to do?
All right, so this is what we do here.
I see.
This is what we do here.
We got to be.
What are you about to do?
Got a beat here. Do you remember this song?
Yes, I remember this song.
So
Oh,
yeah,
this album's hot.
yeah. So this is what we do on Poetically Correct.
Yeah.
We like to end off with a little freestyle.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
That wasn't the beat that you wanted to.
No, that
wasn't it?
was.
How you gonna do this?
Okay. This is how we do this, right? Okay. I gotta feel this. Yeah. The feeling is cold when I write these poems. These aren't the feelings I hold. These are the feelings I mold. Just trying to grow, just trying to not be the mold. I'm just trying to be fresh like the dew in the morning, which I see in you is the sunshine in your face, baby. I just want to be your grace. Now I just want to give you some taste of this luscious potion. I mean, I'm just talking now. This is something that you gotta hold on to whenever I'm by your side. Yeah, just understand me. This is poetically. Some really call me Benny, but I'm really not bad about these pennies. I stutter sometimes just cause you make my mind kind of stutter sometimes. I mean, baby, you fine. And I just wanna be pass this thing to Rome DiCarlo. Really, hold on. Okay.
Say
hold
she
on.
make him stutter.
Yeah.
Run the collar, spit it. I'm better than any other. Spit it hard. Yeah, that's word to my mother. Every time I spit, I be chilling out with my brothers. We got Greg, we got Lee. I'm coming in with the E's. When I be ripping off the top, I be chilling in with the G's. and the B's and the C's. I don't know why I'm counting. Every time I spit it, I'm overcoming the mountains. I spit it just like a fountain. I'm spitting it so it's down to yeah, I get the flow and I be running. When I get it off the top, I be killing them with the thunder like I'm Russell Westbrook or James Harden or Kevin Durant. Yeah, I be coming with jams. When I be spitting off the top, they be throwing their hands up in the air, then they stare. That natural curly hair is what I'm all into. Shout out to Benji, and every time I spit it, I'm ripping it so quickly. Greg, you gonna spit for real? What you gonna do? Take him to the zoo.
Take him to the zoo.
Cause he a beast with it. Matter of fact, he gonna be a feast with it. Eat the mic up and leave it pieces. I mean, your dog, you gonna leave it Reese's Pieces? I just made it wrong.
Leave it.
Okay, go.
Leave it. Leave it Reese's Pieces. I'm the shit like I'm feces. I don't even know where I'ma go though. Let me spit this poem though. I am not average. I never have been. Getting straight A's in the 5th grade. Holding my own with poetic marathons to prove I'm not average. I'm above it. Not right above it like Drake and Weezy. Nah, I soar high above it and make it look easy according to my family. But in all honesty, it's hard. It's challenging. Being an outcast not as cool as the number 3000 or a big boy. Matter of fact, I was a big boy back in the day and I'm still big now. Just in my own planet, just in my own world, just in this city. Currently, words burn from me like a struck match. My patches are being my patches are being sewn up like the quilts my great grandmother used to do up and to put out. I'm about greatness. Latest used to be my kryptonite until I put my present position to my prayers every night. The people closest to me say that I'm a light. That others are like moths or insects and will be attracted to me whether the reasoning is positive or negative. My rhetoric is what fuels me. It is me. It's what makes me different. It's what makes me a poet. It's what makes me a loner. It's what makes me who I am. I am a poet named Superman. Shout out to the Queen City Collective, Hydra, Lauren Shalair, Latina, Erica, Lynette. What up?
Yeah.
And that is.
Yo, thank you for being on our test subject for this new segment. You know what I mean? We gotta have a freestyle.
Yeah, we got the freestyle.
Yeah.
I'm mad I stumbled a little bit.
It was cool.
I'm terrible.
That's what it is.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Reddit 28, Dandelion Market, my employers. No, man. No, I love everybody in there, man. Shout out to Reddit 28. Shout out to Dandelion Market. Dup and Swap, man. Yeah. Appreciate y'all. Queen City Collective, Super Friends, Jersey, Charlotte. Like it's crazy, man. We even talk about the Queen City Awards. Yeah.
If this gonna premiere before then.
Wait a minute. When is the Queen City Awards?
It's actually December 16th. It's Saturday, bro. Wow. That's when we find out who's you know.
Oh, where's that gonna be at?
That I don't know. Just go on QueenCityAwards.com.
It's Queen City Awards. Yeah, that's gonna be fly.
So we with the award nominated a poet named Superman.
Poet of the Year.
Poet of the Year.
Nominated for Poet of the Year. Yeah.
Poet of the Year.
Poetry in Motion.
The Poet of the Year.
Yes.
The Poet of the Year.
Yeah.
I've already claimed it.
Oh, word.
You got
it. It was. Yeah.
Oh, it's yours.
No, I'm telling you, I saw it.
Oh,
you were already won.
No, you.
Hey,
word.
Are you gonna be there?
I think so. Yeah. I don't have anything else planned. I don't know the details on the event, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I barely know details. Yeah, I will be there.
I'm sorry. Valentina has an event, and I think
yes.
Lawrence performing.
Yes. Valentina has an event.
But I have already voted for Poet named Superman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because voting is over now.
Yeah, voting.
I can't really tell people to vote.
Hymns and Metaphors, Valentina Escobar, and Chosen, Christian rapper named Chosen. They're having an event called Hymns and Metaphors on December 16th. December 14th, Word of Mouth, Dup and Swat. That'll be every second and fourth Thursday at Dup and Swat on the Plaza. Yeah. Every first and third Wednesday, Release Therapy at Reddit 28 University area. Trying to think of what else I'm doing. Every Monday and Friday, one half of the DJ duo called The Remedy. Poet named Superman and DJ Beezy Beats. We are The Remedy. So follow us on Instagram. We are The Remedy. Follow DJ BEZZIEBEATZ. Follow the Queen City Collective. Queen City CLTIVE. Follow my boy Hydra. He needs followers. BHEAD Hydra HYDRA.
You know, I don't understand. We need to start a campaign for that because Hydra really needs to have like
Hydra
millions of followers. Really, to be honest,
I'm so mad that he's that dope that we talked about him in the middle of my interview. Like
that's how dope he is.
No, can't, man, no, can't stand him.
But bruh, you said something.
I'm crashing his interview. When y'all interview him, I'm crashing it.
You coming through that joint
because
like,
I can't stand him. Love you, bro.
You realize you almost got 7 days a week filled up, bro. That's crazy. You got Monday through Friday. Sound like everything but Tuesday. You got an event going on.
Yeah.
This is real deal, bro.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Not to mention every once in a while when I pop in on Soulful Sunday.
Yeah. So Poet and Superman is killing y'all niggas. I just want to know. I just want y'all to know that.
Slight work. There's more to be done.
It is more to be done.
I'm trying to be like Blues.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the OGs.
Shout out to Blues, man. Shout out to Blues. Shout out to Blues. Shout out to Jabu.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jay Ward.
Yep.
Like Breeze, Kia Flow.
All
Like
them.
y'all. Shout out to
Gorilla
Ian too.
Poets.
Gorilla Poet. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Riot. She's
Right.
one of my favorites.
She's amazing.
Right. She's her name.
Charlotte has some amazing poetry.
Charlotte is just I can't wait for the rest of the world to find out what Charlotte has to offer in poetry, man.
Yeah.
The Ed Mabrys, the JCs, like I can't wait.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Hell
just-
yeah.
I'm just lucky to be a part of it.
Right. We're just trying to do our part in it too, man.
Yeah, I'm just here.
People like Lee, you know what I'm saying? He's international. He be traveling around.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been everywhere. I was in LA. He's like, oh yeah, I've been in LA. He was just talking about Atlantic City, Orlando.
yeah.
My
Orlando,
man,
yeah.
my man's an entrepreneur. So
No, you don't talk about me. You don't talk about, I was slaying the clams.
Hey. What else? What we got coming up? Oh, Word Society.
Where's
December?
man.
December 13th. We
Shout out
got
to LB, man.
We got a show. 13th.
Yeah, shout out
Word
to the whole
Society.
crew,
That's
man.
word to my society. Word.
Greensboro was deep at release therapy. So
Word.
336 was in
oh
the building.
my goodness. Justin the
Winston-Salem.
Beloved. Friggin' I Shine. Yo, shout out to I Shine. I got a lot of shout outs. I know entirely too many people.
Mhm.
Who else I got shout out? I don't know.
Tyrone. I mean,
Tyrone.
Tyrone Combs.
Titties.
Oh, okay.
Titty.
I thought you just.
Oh, shout out to
oh
Tyrone
no,
Burston.
no.
Better call Tyrone.
Shout out to my bestie and the best gym. Don't ask, okay? I'm just making shout outs.
Hey,
people
man,
gonna see this.
hey, this show's over. Hell, man, you are a typical black person about to shout out everybody out in the
Yo,
world.
shout out to my homeboy
Yo,
Sean.
I gotta shout out. Shout out to
Sean, TT
God,
Smooth.
dang, we can't do nothing without giving out a
Shout out
million
Day-Day.
shout-outs.
Damien, shout out to my mama. Mama, I love you. Pop Diggs.
Hey, Ma.
J-Rel's forever. You know what
The
I'm saying?
mics are off.
No, they not. I can still hear myself. What you talking about? The camera's
Yo.
still rolling.
This has been Poetically Correct. POETICALLY. Correct.
Shout out to
Let's
my
go.
Uncle Dave.
Aunt Cynthia, I'm coming for Christmas.